right, everybody. Welcome to the Tuesday show. My name's Ultra David. We're doing things a little bit differently today. With me are James, Chen, and Tupperware. What's going on, folks?
How's it going, everybody?
Can you center yourself in that frame, bucko?
I'm moving. I'm feeling good. Feeling great.
This way. Okay, there we go. No, I'm tired. I've been up early. Just did about, what is it, like 6 or 7 hours of commentary, and now here I am. Woo! Okay, let's do this.
So because James was doing Soul Calibur 6 commentary the entire day for the Evo side stuff.
This way?
Yes.
Oh, I'm supposed to go this way. I was going wrong
So because
way.
he was doing that, he he wasn't able to prepare for doing the show. So I'm actually the one streaming. This is actually from my house. This is my house, baby. This is where I'm the one streaming today. I get to call the shots. If I say that the stream's over, the stream's over. It's all up to me. I like it. I like this position.
All right.
Just chill here. I'm happy.
So what we're going to do today is talk about these topics that you can see on the side here. Wow, even this is easier when I'm the one who's actually streaming. That's bizarre. Valve unveils the Steam Deck. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about the Guilty Gear Strive DLC character and watch live as it happens and give our commentary.
Live reaction videos.
Live. We got a guest on, DJ Cream, who's going to be talking about tournaments coming up. We have 5-5 matchups for you. We're going to be talking about the Smash Summit and a whole bunch of other stuff, too. We have a big mailbag as well because somebody screwed up last time and didn't put in a bunch of the mailbag questions, and they carried over to this one. So good job, whoever that was. I don't know. Unclear. All right, but let's begin by talking about this first topic. Nailed it! Right here. Let's talk about the Valve making a handheld PC, kind of. It's kind of what happened.
I just want to throw this in here. I'm super proud of my overlays, that it was so easy to transfer over for David to be able to do this. I'm like super happy about that. That makes me kind of stoked.
If you're a streamer out there and you want a full overlay experience, contact James Chen at JC Hensor on Twitter.
Dude, I did a bunch of stuff for TTG Ruiz, aka the Thirsty Games, for his Tekken tournaments. And he ran a Tekken tournament this last weekend, and he was like, that is the easiest it's ever been for me to run the Tekken tournaments, because he could pick which heroes they were using, and it would automatically update the picture on his layout and everything like that, and it's pretty sick. So
No, it really is nice, dude. I gotta say, yeah, it's very easy to use. I really do like it a lot. It's nice. Good work.
Okay.
All right, let's start talking about this. So the Steam Deck, Valve announced this over the past week. It's basically a handheld PC. It's a handheld gaming console, kind of, and it runs Steam OS, but it can run anything. It can run Windows if you'd prefer it to do that, but it comes with Steam, and it has a 720p screen. I think exactly it's 1280 by 800. It's 7 inches, 60 hertz. It's like about the size of a Switch, more or less, physically speaking. There are 3 models. There's a 64 gig one that's running on eMMC drive. Then they got 256 gigs and 512 with an NVMe SSD. There's also a micro SD card slot. It's got a USB-C out as well. So if you'd like to put it in a dock, you can do that. There's a bunch of docks that are already available. Unlike James, who's not. Okay, now he's back. Your camera cut out. So.
Oh, did my camera cut out?
No, you're good now. You're
all good now.
Okay.
You're set.
So if you have a dock, you can use it with this. They're gonna have their own at some point as well, but they said it can work with anything. So if you'd like to play it on a monitor or with a keyboard or with a joystick or whatever it is, then you can do that. Apparently, not every game works with this. Most do, the vast majority do, but ones that are built with some anti-cheat stuff that work specifically on Windows apparently don't.
Oh, nice. Okay,
but Valve says that they're going to be working on that stuff, and no like set word, but like seems likely that they'll fix that and that'll be ready to go by the time that they're going to actually sell this, which is not for a little while. They actually put up pre-orders. Did you guys get any? Are you interested in this?
I mean, I don't need to spend $700 on a portable gaming system. That's kind of how I feel about that. With built-in, not removable controller, and It looks very clunky, and the battery life said from 2 to 8 hours.
Yeah.
Which I'm assuming means if I'm playing any modern game, I'm going to get about 2 hours of battery life.
Yeah, I mean,
I just don't have a need for it.
I mean, I'm already playing all of my games on the Switch anyway, right? I have no extensive PC collection of games, so it's not a must-have for me. So I haven't reserved it yet. Plus, I mean, it's just extra expense that I don't need at this point in time. So
Yeah, I didn't try to get one either. I do play on PC a lot, and I play on Switch also. Like, I really like the Switch. It's very convenient for me to hold and play on. And yeah, I primarily play on PC. So I feel like I actually would be pretty good. Like I'm like the person that they're trying to get to use this.
Sure.
But I didn't. The biggest reason is just that, like, I'm rarely an early adopter when it comes to new technology.
right, yeah.
There's just like commonly issues, and I don't know what the issues are going to be, or even if there are going to be any. But like pretty commonly, there are issues with new big things like this. So I'll wait to see, and I totally could see myself buying this eventually. But as far as like right away, I don't think that it's for me. I think there are other interesting discussions though, and this is like exactly timed with the discussion that we've been having lately, including just last week.
There is.
Like exactly timed about whether or how fighting game tournaments can be on PC. Right? It's like
Right.
immediately after that discussion came around again, Valve was like, "All right, it's time to drop this thing."
And then now we have a universal, standardized portable PC that costs at least a known amount, and all the different groups can. I mean, especially too if you're a company like Gaming Generations. Like, I'm not sure if a lot of people are aware of this, but Gaming Generations is the group that actually most of the big tournaments rent their consoles from. Gaming Generations gets a guy, drives a big old truck to wherever in the United States that they need it to go, and they set up everything. If they just set up a bunch of these Steam, consoles here, or PCs, what is it called? The Steam Deck? The Steam Deck?
The deck,
if they just set up a bunch of these Steam Decks, that's perfect, right? I mean, that'll be really good for being able to do that. Now, how practical that is, you saw a bunch of people coming up with all these different systems. Arturo was testing out Brook adapters for the controller so that there would only be one thing plugged into the machine and everything plugs into the Brook adapter, et cetera, et cetera. So, I mean, it looks like it could actually be a possibility.
The problem still is going to be cost.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
I mean, we have these PS4s that work perfectly fine for the majority of our games, ready to go. And
like I said, the interesting thing is if Gaming Generations is the one that sets it up and you rent it from them.
No, I mean, I understand that, but the more you have to rent from them, the more it costs.
Right. Yeah,
so you're going to need PS4s, you're going to need Switches, you're going to need whatever consoles you need, and then you need Steam Deck. And then you don't even need just the Steam Deck. You need a Steam Deck with a dock. And you don't need just a Steam Deck. You need at least the middle grade Steam Deck, because the 64 gigabyte one with embedded memory, or embedded storage, I should say, it doesn't. You could install like 2 fighting games on it, and some of them don't even work at the moment, which hopefully they would fix. But if it launched tomorrow, there's games that don't even work on it right now. So it's not like an all-in-one solution. A lot of our games are on PC, and a lot of the games have great ports on PC. But if you can't install all of them onto the Steam Deck at the same time, that's a terrible solution. It doesn't work that way. So if I'm a TO right now, or say a year from now, Steam Deck is out and it's great, everyone loves it. If I'm a TO and it's going to cost me more money to order Steam Decks, there's no way in hell I'm going to pay the extra money for Steam Decks, but I can get the PS4s and the tournament can run tournament standard on console the same way it always has been. Now, if you take cost out of the equation and it works perfectly and the dock doesn't cost that much and it's easy to go, and then sure, we could switch to PC, but it still seems limited.
Right.
And
it's not practical anytime soon.
It's not practical, no.
Yeah, I think I have a similar opinion. Yeah, like I'm definitely down with the idea of trying. Like, I'm not, obviously not opposed to playing on console.
Try,
like, neither
sure.
are you. Like, we've been playing Strive on PC.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So
that's what I play Strive on too.
Yeah.
I actually
We've
play it on
all
PC.
been playing on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that would be great because that's what we're used to. But even if everything does go right, and yeah, we'll see if that happens. But even if everything does go right, I also hesitate to make tournament standard a system that not as many people do have. A lot of people are playing fighting games on PC nowadays, but like it's not the majority still for the most part. It does seem like a lot of people are playing Strive on PC in particular, but
Yeah.
But for other games, it's like not at all the majority. It's the small minority. So should we make people have to go through that expense if they want to play on tournament standard system? I hesitate that, and this is
Right.
I think this is something that I would say too if it's PS5 or Xbox Series, whatever, because we have had these same conversations. Like, what if tomorrow all these new games are coming out, fighting games for those, but they're also available on PS4, right? Well, PS4 should remain the tournament standard because, like, why would you make everybody pay all this more money, even if they could get a PS5 or whatever?
Right.
Why do that? You limit how many people can be playing. I'm hesitant to do that. So in the future, maybe not like next year, maybe in a couple of years, we can see the situation. Maybe more people are just adopting PC anyway at that point. Totally possible. But I think that's my concern ultimately is like, I don't want to price people out of playing fighting games, especially in tournaments.
Agreed.
Both on the organizing side, and you're right to talk about gaming gen. For majors, they're really important. But for locals, it's not something that's...
Even smaller regionals can't afford to hire, gaming gen. They're expensive.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of
and
work.
rightfully so,
Right,
but,
yeah, they do a lot of good work, for sure. But yeah, it does cost money. So for smaller events, that's not as viable. And then, so it's the organizers, and it's also the people who could be playing, but the tournament standard is not on the system that they have. I mean, we've been in a situation before where people are playing on the non-tournament standard. That happened in the 360 and PS3 days, but that was not ideal either. So if we can avoid that, I think I'd rather avoid that. My ideal world is, we're all playing on the PC. Like, I would prefer it, for sure. Yes. If I didn't have to turn on my PlayStation anymore or whatever console it is to play fighting games, awesome. For me, great. I continue to feel like I'm not sure that that's actually the situation that we find ourselves in, even with the Steam Deck, but I'm open to it, of course. And what's funny is I feel like Tupperware and I were talking about this. I feel like it's not like we're not the only people who are like, oh yeah, this could be interesting. The people at Valve are thinking about that. Like, they put out that picture of not just like, here's two people playing on controllers playing Strive or playing whatever random game, Street Fighter, maybe if it's the popular one. No, they're playing the latest game on a hitbox and whatever the other one, some other fancy joystick.
It was an arcade stick.
It's a fancy arcade stick.
Victrix or something.
Yeah. Like, they are marketing towards this for sure, and in some of their marketing literature, they actually mention fighting game tournaments too.
Yeah, they knew what they were doing.
Yeah.
I feel like somebody works for them and is on the inside. They're in FGC Twitter. They knew what was up. For
somebody in the chat just said the guy who has been answering a lot of the questions about Steam Deck is a Street Fighter V player. So there you go.
That dude, Pierre Lou, oh no way, that's hilarious. Yeah, he's been on a lot of the media talking about the Steam Deck. He actually plays on Hitbox even. You absolutely called it, dude. That's exactly. Now, obviously, it's not like they timed this announcement to be like, oh, FGC's talking about it. Here's our announcement. Like, obviously, that's not the case. But since they had that announcement, and since there has been that discussion point in the FGC, they have been specifically, targeting fighting game tournaments, which I think is brilliant. Super cool. Again, like I'm definitely down with the idea of playing on computer, playing on PC. I think I just need to see more and like be more sure that more people would be okay with playing on it too.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else to say on the Steam Deck?
That side button's really weird, but
Oh yeah, we didn't talk about the actual controller part of it that it comes with. Yeah. So it has this layout where like the joystick or whatever it's called is actually parallel to the buttons too, which is a little bit unusual. And then there's also the Steam controllers like little touchpad dealy on the front
like
as well.
Trackpad kind of thing. Yeah.
And then the back has multiple like little, I don't know.
Does it?
Triggers.
Dang,
Yeah, it has triggers on the back.
Yeah, on the top and also for
Definitely
your
has triggers on the back.
Yeah, so it's got a lot of stuff going on there. But I mean, if you're gonna have a controller that's supposed to emulate PC where people are used to keyboard, then that makes sense. You probably want a lot of different stuff on there for options and whatnot.
Right. And even on the mouse, right? I mean, how many gaming mice have like 900 buttons on them these days, right? So.
Yeah, but only nerds use those.
Oh yeah, are you setting up how fancy your mouse is? That's exactly what you're doing.
No, I don't have that many buttons on mine.
Okay.
It's pretty standard.
Okay, all right. Okay, well, I guess that's it for the Steam Deck. Move on to the next one.
Sure.
Moving on to the next one.
Nice, nailed it. All right, well,
That's all James.
That's all, absolutely all James. Yeah, I just pressed the button right now. Woo! Shoutouts to me and the button pressing. We're going to be talking about and also watching the announcement for the next character in Strive.
In 10 minutes, right?
In 10 minutes, yeah. So I wanted to make sure that we like got that set up well enough in advance, you know, so we got a little bit of time to pontificate here. Do you guys have any thoughts on like what you want to see, which characters you want to see, or maybe even what you expect? And also, if people in the chat like know, because I don't know if there's been a leak or whatever. I'm trying not to pay attention to that stuff.
Yeah,
if you do, please don't put that in the chat. We would rather not see that.
Yeah, no spoilers, nerds.
Yeah, but I mean, for me, I didn't know it was like, I came in thinking it was gonna be like Jam, right? Like, or that's kind of what I was thinking. Like, oh, here, like they're just gonna, but apparently they officially said it's a brand new character or something like that.
Yeah, I think in one of the developer updates they said that the first DLC character is a brand new playable character, so no returning character. If I didn't have the information, I would assume it would be like Elfelt, a very popular character from Xrd, to get more players from Xrd to play, and Lost Soul can do some free marketing for them and stuff like that. But I'm hoping I'm hoping for Goldlewis Dickinson. Everyone's hoping for Goldlewis Dickinson, but I don't think he'll be the first character. I think he'll be like the third or fourth.
Now, did you see that parody?
Yeah.
Goldlewis Dickinson.
Yes.
That was so well done and genius. Like the way that it even matched like the pacing of an actual trailer, showing a dust combo and like making up his super. Dude, that video was amazing.
It was cool.
I love that
definitely
video.
Funny.
Super sick.
Yeah.
But I think it'll be Happy Chaos. That's my guess.
Why are you guessing Happy Chaos?
Because Happy Chaos is a new playable character and they're cool as shit.
Okay. Do you know anything about either of these two characters? Because I haven't.
Happy Chaos has guns.
Okay.
Happy Chaos has revolvers.
Okay.
And looks absolutely insane. Like, looks like, I don't want to say like the Joker, but just has that like crazy-eyed look from what I remember. And then Goldlewis Dickinson,
he was in the background of Xrd eating an infinite amount of hamburgers.
He was the hamburger man eating the hamburgers. So he's a big fat dude with white hair, and he has a casket that has an alien from Area 51 that he throws over his shoulder and he hits people with it.
Now that only we found out in this game's story mode.
Yes.
Last game, the only thing he was a dude in the background eating burgers. I don't know what his role. I don't know what his role is in the story because I haven't seen Strive story mode yet, so I don't know what he does. But but he definitely has an alien in a coffin, in a sarcophagus attached to the chain that I've seen clips of him swinging that thing around. So,
and he has the greatest name of all time.
What's that?
He has the greatest name of all time. I mean,
it's pretty good.
Goldlewis Dickinson.
It's pretty good.
How do they think of that?
He's the Secretary of Defense, is what people are saying.
Dude, it's funny. In our accent, when you say defense, people usually say Secretary of Defense, but when you say Secretary of Defense, I'm thinking like he's the Secretary of like blocking it out. He's gonna have sick defense.
I think of like football stadiums. Defense.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. I mean, I'd be cool either way. I don't have any knowledge of the story, so I mean, story reasons are not things I'm going to be able to speak to. I've seen both of those characters. I mean, they're like in the intro to the game. Like they're obviously going to be.
Happy Chaos is the character who has the thing that Jacko has over her head. Yeah, that's been in the trailers and stuff.
Yeah,
he's like I guess he's like the evil version of Jacko or something like that.
That would be sick, dude. If Jacko's style was in this game, what an interesting character.
Well, Jacko might be DLC too because she's big in the story as well.
Right.
Oh, okay. Okay, story man. I mean, yeah,
I haven't seen it. I just read.
Sure, you can come clean. I would be cool either way. I mean, I'm in it to zone and to grapple, and I guess I think it's likelier that Goldlewis Dickinson is gonna be one of those two, if not definitely at least one of them. But other than that, like you don't really know. And in the Guilty Gear series, there are plenty of characters who are like not the big body who are command grabs and do other interesting stuff. So,
Sure.
It feels like
either way is cool.
It feels like Happy Chaos would be a good choice because Valentines have always been kind of like one of the new characters in Exerd and such, and Happy Chaos is one of the Valentines as well. So
there you go.
Along with Ramlethal and Elfelt, right? So maybe, but he also, I don't know what his role is in the story, but he looks like kind of like a boss character or something. I don't know. People can confirm or something like that. I mean, this picture that I'm looking at literally says Happy Chaos Valentine. Like,
Wait,
so
I
don't know. I'm just looking at a picture that I found on the web, basically. But if he is a major, I mean, maybe.
I have no idea.
I mean, but if he is a major boss, I feel like that they would want to save him for a little bit later or something like that.
No way. Drop him right away. Give us the hype. Speaking of, we have like, what, 4 minutes, right?
Yeah, I mean, David has the thing on the thing.
Maybe we should just switch over to that in case I start a little bit early. Ooh, transitions.
Check it out! Na, na, na. Yeah.
Now, you did this on your own here.
I did do this. That's right.
On his own? Oh, this is all by my design, I'll have you know.
Actually, he had a large role to play in it. That's true. That's true.
Thanks, David, for giving credit where credit's due.
Absolutely.
But yeah, I would love to see Goldlewis. I would love to see Happy Chaos. A lot of people want to see that man. I don't really care to see that man.
I just don't feel like he would fit in as a character, to be honest with you. Like, I feel like, would you want him playable? Isn't he supposed to be like that man?
Very
you know
powerful.
What I mean? Like,
very powerful. Yeah, but so is Soul Bad Guy.
Does he even fight? Does that man supposed to fight? I don't even know, actually.
I don't know anymore. No. But either way, I think that Arxis has proven they can make characters interesting.
Now, here's the other question.
I'm not worried about that.
Here's the other question. Like the server's going offline soon or whatever, blah, blah, blah. Like there's going to be a maintenance. Do you feel like there's going to be any balance changes? Or do you think they're going to wait?
Is the night, like right now?
Oh, is it down right now?
No, that's what I thought you were saying, that the servers were coming down. I was just like, what are you talking about? You confused me.
They are coming down soon. I can't remember when they said. I mean, it looks like Cone in the chat says 2:30. Oh, the maintenance was yesterday.
There you go.
Okay, got it. Okay, I just
no, I don't think there'll be a patch.
Okay,
yeah. I mean, I don't think that there will be anyway. I think that's going to be a ways off regardless. And I mean, maybe maybe when the character actually comes out, they're going to have.
I've heard rumors that this character is supposed to launch very soon.
Oh yeah,
that they're going to reveal that. That's the only rumor I heard. I haven't heard who it is yet, but I have heard that it comes out soon.
Huh. That might be one of the reasons why they decided to do the server maintenance. Maybe the character comes out sooner than we even expect.
That would be dope. I would love a character available now.
Yeah, that would be super sick. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be dope.
We would be like, all right, everybody, it's been a good stream. Just go play.
Oh, am I kidding? I'll go play May.
Yeah.
Don't
You're
forget
gonna
me.
stick with May regardless. That's true.
That's all I see in the freaking Arx's chat was.
That's all they should see.
I mean, I'll probably still stick with Axel. I'm open to the idea of playing other characters, but I just want to feel like more comfortable with this character first, and I still think that there are things that I need to learn and get better with. Well, I mean, obviously with Axel before I do that. So at some point I will branch out, but probably not yet.
Get better with Axel already. We're waiting.
I'm not terrible. I'm not great though. That's for sure.
Be the best already.
There's so many good Axels, though. Axel really is having a good time. I mean, it feels like every tournament you watch, he's in top 8. What an
underrated character.
Super underrated. I highly agree.
Super underrated.
I don't know why anybody's underrated.
He's won a lot of tournaments, and people still rating him as like a lower character, and it's like very weird.
I think it's weird, too.
But, again, I don't, like, people also rate Eno low, and I feel like Eno's pretty strong as well, you know?
That's because you play Potemkin.
I mean, maybe she's not bad, but Axel's like definitely good. He's like affirmatively good.
For sure good.
Someone actually told me.
Here we go.
Oh.
Subject file 2534. Speech level intelligence confirmed. Preparing to capture.
Okay, what channel is this? This is Arx's, right?
Goldlewis Dickinson.
Yep. They did it? There's no way I thought this would happen.
What's that? Okay. You want to know what's in this coffin? Aliens?
He's gigantic.
Ridiculous.
He's so slow.
Let me explain. Huh?
Dude, he's huge.
Look at the alien.
Yeah. Bring it.
Did you see the anti-air? What?
Sorry, haven't taught my buddies to pull punches.
She has a Gatling gun?
Dude, his sunglasses with... Oh, that's so sick!
He's shooting a laser.
Arx's heard people were mad about the Gatling, so they gave him a Gatling.
Literally a Gatling,
yeah.
Yo, he's gigantic.
This would be available now. July 27th.
Okay, pretty soon.
Yes, a week from today.
Okay, then August, next character.
And then an additional story is coming,
Go back.
too.
I will. Yeah, I will. It's on YouTube, so we can just replay it real fast.
Okay.
Now, are they going to do anything else, or is that it? Is that it?
Let's find out.
That's it.
Oh, that's it.
Okay, that's fine.
Thank you for watching.
Yeah, I mean that's expected.
Cool with me.
Run it back.
I'm absolutely gonna run it back.
Yeah, I know. We need to see this, and you can put it at 25% speed and stuff like that if you really.
Sure.
50%.
50, yeah.
Oh.
Although I'm gonna mute that because that's wild. Do not enter, it says on the coffin. He's got an alien coffin? What's the deal in the story mode?
He has a horseshoe on his glove.
The Secretary of Absolute Defense.
Absolute
Defense.
Absolute. Okay.
Defense.
Okay. Actually, let me play this at regular speed because I just want to get a sense of how slow these moves are because they look pretty slow to me.
Yeah. We can run it back. I mean, we got time. We can run it back.
Don't forget the J and K and L for going forward and back.
What's that? You want to know what's in this coffin? Aliens?
Ginormous.
So that was an overhead. That's why it was so slow, I think.
Cryptids collector.
I love it. He just knocks on the coffin. It's so sick.
Bring it on out.
The alien is attacking and unleashing things. The alien punches as well.
Yeah, the alien definitely
Is the
punches.
coffin the Gatling? Was the coffin the Gatling?
We'll go back and look.
It's stealth.
You're up. UMA.
Okay. All right.
Explain. Don't be ridiculous.
What the heck, dude? This character is
look at how slow these moves are, though.
It's not a big.
Like he's gonna have to look at that.
You want to know what's in this coffin?
I mean, probably.
That one looks like an overhead. And Faust stood to block.
Faust stood to block it. You're absolutely right about that. Let me put this on this now. Dude, Faust definitely stood to block that. And then there's something afterward, and I just
so you can probably overhead into follow up.
Wait, what's the length of JK and L? Oh, 10 seconds. Too far.
10 seconds, yes.
Okay.
Yep, stands.
Overhead
but it's a guard break. It's their guard breaks.
That was a guard break?
Yeah, look at
yeah,
the animation. Boof. Ah,
Oh,
boof.
yeah.
Ah.
You're right.
Both of them.
You're right.
Dang.
Wow. Okay, so even though he's so huge and big, he does have a run.
Yeah, he has a
Yes.
dash.
A run,
And
specifically.
Leo's like, oh,
What
look
up,
at this.
alien homie?
Is the alien?
assuming that's
Is he
his
trying to
taunt.
help him light the cigar? Yeah, he is. I think that the alien's
so
trying
he's-
to help him light the cigar.
And he has like a bomb.
He's got
put
a little,
out,
like,
too.
helicopter
Yeah.
bomb or something. That's dust.
That's gotta be his
That's
dust.
dust.
That's-
Yeah, that's
gotta
his
be.
dust. So where the heck does that Gatling gun? No, it's not the coffin.
Oh, yeah, he
Oh, he
takes it.
pulls it out of the coffin.
All right,
He
all
pulls it out of the coffin.
It's in the
Watch.
coffin. Oh
Yeah,
my
that's
god!
what it looks like.
And that's a super, obviously, because that caused the wall break there.
Right, for sure.
That was a
And
super?
then he,
No.
It had to have been. It caused a wall break.
Why?
yeah.
What do you mean
By
why? Because all
itself.
supers wall break on hit if they're in the corner.
Yeah, but not all things that wall break automatically are supers. Like Heat Knuckle always.
Oh,
causes
that's
wall
fair.
break.
That looks like a super to me, though. That looks like the overdrive.
Yeah.
Imagine if you could just pull out the Gatling gun anytime you wanted, is what I'm saying.
I don't know. Maybe.
I mean,
And then
yeah,
he
it's
took
Arx's.
a laser out of his eye. Like,
Yeah, it looks
what-
like a satellite bomb.
Okay, that's probably a super, right? Like there was an
it
animation,
has to be right
It's-
because it's
yeah.
zoomed in.
and then okay,
Yeah,
okay,
and
what
then
was
it
that?
drops the bomb. It's a satellite. It's a satellite.
Yeah,
Satellite
he
bomb.
targets
Yeah.
where the satellite shoots, basically.
Right.
Satellite goes. Brrr.
The Secretary of Absolute Defense. Dude.
Absolute defense.
That's got to be a super too, right?
That's a super for sure.
Or maybe
No,
no,
that could
maybe
be a
that's his
win
win
pose.
pose.
Oh, win pose.
That
Yeah.
could
Be
his
a
win
win
pose.
pose, yeah.
Fair enough. Fair enough. Huh.
I can't believe they started with him. After I was like, "There's no way. There's no way they start with Goldlewis." That's
Lewis,
awesome.
Dickinson. All right, let's see. There was a move before that. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So right, I wanted to see more about this. So that I don't know what
See,
answer
the
that is.
alien-
6P. Who knows?
That's got to be 6P, and then he
6P?
put out the bomb to follow up.
So he's got a naturally cancelable 6P. And then maybe close slash, right? Close slash into Gatling, or do you think that's just the move?
I think it's an
That
edit.
might-
I think that was an edit.
No, he just
Oh,
makes
no,
it
it's
up.
not an
Okay.
edit.
Huh.
But I don't know. Maybe that's part of the super. Maybe
Maybe it's not
slamming
even a
is part of the
super. Maybe David is right.
I think it's a special move.
Yeah.
Yeah, it might just be a
well,
special.
actually, you know what? To be fair, Potemkin's Heat Knuckle also always wall breaks
Yeah, that's what David was
as
saying
well.
earlier.
So yeah. So maybe it is just a special move that always wall breaks.
Man, if that's a special move, I hope it's very slow to start up or
I mean, it looks incredibly
very negative
so
on block.
to start up, right? Look at
Yeah,
that.
that might be like a counter hit only type thing.
We don't know if he's a grappler because we don't know if he has a command
They only
throw
show
or
one
not.
throw. They only showed
No.
one throw.
Right. And that just looked like the regular throw. But this thing, look at that. It hit a lot. If you end up blocking this thing, you have to deal with the schmicks at this point, dude. Like,
I mean,
'cause
if
look,
he's close, you know.
Even if not,
Well,
look how
look-
long it lasts. And it lasts
Yeah, he's still walking.
even after the
dude.
cut. Even after the cut, it was still
Yeah.
going on.
They're still going.
And he's got to run so he can go from probably pretty far away and make something happen.
I wonder if it stays out if you hit him.
Right.
I can't believe
Like, I wonder
the
if the
dude in the
satellite drops.
background eating the burgers is actually in this game and playable now. This is like seriously, that guy was like the hype dog. He was kind of like
Yeah.
just infamous for being a funny background character. Now here he is. He's a major character, and now he's gonna be playable.
Like
This is
this might be like if Potemkin gets 2 slash on you and you're in this like the counter hit state, right? And that kind of
Yeah,
like,
well, it's
like
definitely a counter hit.
yeah, but I mean like it might be
it-
that like kind of stagger state where you get like extra
Right.
stuff. All right. So there's a jump in which explodes. What? Oh, because of
Yeah.
that. Because of that.
Oh, the bomb. That's right. Yeah.
Look how many hits
he
the
just-
bomb does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I think
it's like
that's
1,
the most
2,
interesting
3.
thing.
Yeah, it's 1, 2, 3. So he gets the hit, sets
Alien
up the
just
bomb.
lays it out.
Yeah, the alien. Yeah.
Just
One,
finger
two,
rolls it out. 1, 2,
three.
and then an
3,
explosion.
4,
Yeah.
probably.
No, I think it's 1, 2 explosion. That's what it looked like to me.
Outer.
Wait,
And
he
then
got
into
he got launched so fast? Look at this dust. Assuming dust. He like barely charges it.
No, no. Why? Look at the yellow behind him.
Yeah, but this is even on 0.25 speed. It looks like.
Well, put it on regular speed. I don't. It doesn't look that fast to me.
Okay.
Or that slow or that fast. It looks normal.
I think it's because that whole animation is him charging, opening it up, right?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. If you look at the yellow flash, it starts way before you would think the animation does.
So, start there.
You know what?
See?
It's being hidden in the explosion. The yellow part is actually hidden in the explosion. Interesting.
Right.
Interesting.
Probably what they're trying to show people.
Right.
Dude, there's no scene of him next to Potemkin, right? Because I just want to know who's actually larger.
Pot's got to be.
It's got to be Pot, but Goldlewis might be taller. He's not as wide as Potemkin for sure. Can I call him Dickinson rather than Gold? I don't know. They're both cool names.
I know, right? It's both work. Or
I mean, if you really want to shorten it, you could just call him Gold Dick.
Let's call him Gold Dick. Let's do it.
Good old Gold Dick.
I think it just works just calling him Goldlewis Dickinson every single time.
So many syllables for a name.
July
All right, let's check
27th.
out this. Yeah, let's
okay. So you can see right here that there, I guess, more story is coming as well, and it's all coming in 2022. So
it's not all characters. Coming in 2022.
I'm sorry, the fourth character is coming in 2022. Fifth character is coming in 2022. So this character's coming in, and then August, and then who knows how long it'll take for character number 3. But then we don't get anyone for like over half a year, basically, right?
Well, I mean, so we get character now, basically.
Yeah.
We get one in August.
Yeah.
Then it could be anywhere from September till December that we get one. And then we have no idea. Maybe they'll do a December, January, February release. We have no clue.
Totally could be.
Right.
Yeah.
But we get at least, 2 more characters this year. So within the next 5 months. That's not bad. That's pretty good.
Right. And the season pass is going to be all 5 characters, the stages, another color pack, and the additional story. So there you go.
Cool.
That's not bad. It's a good deal.
He looks cool. Well, I'm not surprised about that, but he does look cool. He does look cool.
I still am shocked that they went with that first. I just did not expect it. That's cool.
I mean, I feel like it's just the character that everyone kind of wants to see, so I just feel like there you go.
Yeah, that's why I thought that maybe like he'll be the 3rd or 4th. That way you can build up to Goldlewis. But if they're opening up with Goldlewis Dickinson, it makes me very excited for what's coming next.
That shows that they're really confident in what else they have.
Yeah, that's what I think. I think it shows they're super confident in what they're going to put together for us.
I could see that.
Now, I will say, though, that, a lot of people will be hyped for some returning characters as well, right? So even if Jam is not your thing, Jam being like, for example, let's say Jam is the August character, everybody's going to be like super hype about that. So, well, a lot of people will be in any case. So
you really want some Jam, don't you?
I don't, actually. I don't care about Jam, but that's the character that I hear everybody talk about. Like, whenever you hear anybody talk about DLC, it always seems to be Jam for some reason.
Oh, hey, news out of nowhere. It looks like Evo has reopened registration. So if you guys missed Evo,
what?
Oh,
go do this right now. I'll throw it in the chat for you guys. If you missed Evo, you pro players who don't sign up on time, there you go. You have a new chance.
Yeah, totally using that explosion from that bomb to hide the dust.
He doesn't seem like a grappler. Great. I think that they would have showed if he was.
Yeah, he's not a grappler for sure.
He has a grab that shows up, but
it's just it looks
that's
like
probably just his regular throw.
He probably just runs into it. Yeah, I agree with you. And thinking about how some of these moves come together, he has
go ahead.
He has a guard break, and he also has moves that keep you in place, right? So if you do satellite explosion or if you do bomb approach, now you're stuck there, and he has guard break, right? That seems like it could be pretty good.
The guard break is not going to force you to get hit. Remember, you can't. Guard break doesn't mean you get hit.
Right, but
Guard break means you just have to block, basically.
It chunks damage, and
Yeah.
it's un-YRCable.
Right. Yes.
Yeah, you gotta hold that.
So that could be good. Could make for good pressure. And if that
I
Gatling
feel
gun
like,
is good, he could be good in screen control too.
like, I feel like if you got him with the satellite and then did the guard break move, the guard break would hit him, the satellite would hit him, and then they'd block, and then they could YRC right away. That's what it
That
feels
might be
like to
true.
me,
Yeah,
so,
that might be true.
That's kind of how it would work, I think. Because if you guard break and then do a red Roman cancel off of it, the shockwave hits them, and then I think that's when they can actually they can all of a sudden burst out of that.
Yeah, I'm interested. I'll definitely check it out. All right.
I mean,
Yeah,
it's
cool.
cool.
I'll mess around with him.
Dude, that character. I mean, I just think he looks sick. I mean, look at the frame that you froze him on, dude.
Yeah, he
like
does look
that's
sick.
just it's a sick animation pose. You know what I mean? It's just really cool.
You know, I feel like
shout-outs to-
every character in this game looks really cool.
Yeah, it's true. Yeah.
But shout outs to them putting in a big, like, fat character, but he's not like Rufus and Bob. It's like not a big jokey thing. You know what I mean? Like, shout outs to him being big, but he's still intimidating and just like really fierce and badass. I think that's cool.
Just like old Tupperware.
Just like old Tupperware. Did you see his belt buckle?
No. What is that?
He's got like a
it's like
ram's
it's like-
skull or a cow skull or whatever. Bull skull.
Yeah, this dude is from Texas for sure. He's got chaps
I mean,
on.
he's got horseshoes on his gloves.
Oh yeah,
He
does
just has
have
horseshoes on his
gloves.
Yeah,
Yeah.
horseshoe gloves, chaps,
It's got chaps. Yeah.
ridiculous belt buckle. Oh, he's just missing the hat, and he had the hat in Xrd. So this dude is straight up Texan. Cosplay, I don't have hair like that. I have no hair, guys. I couldn't pull that off. But the rest I could.
You can get wigs. Wigs are
Yeah,
available.
but come on, man. They don't look that good. I'm trying to be authentic, all right? If I cosplay Goldlewis Dickinson, it would be the Infinite Burger version, and I would just post up with like 50 McDonald's single burgers and just chow down all day. That would be my DLC. Or my DLC, my cosplay.
Warning: extraterrestrial. Do not enter. And I'm really curious to know what the rest of this text says.
Yeah, I know, because you definitely are going to be
Oh.
able to.
In
There
case
you
of
go.
emergency, please contact fakenumber.com and something even smaller underneath that I can't make out.
Yeah.
Please contact Goldlewis Dickinson.
All right. Well, anything else to say on this guy for now?
I'm just looking at the picture of him from Xrd. He definitely has a slightly different look. Like they've definitely tweaked him up a little bit.
Yeah. I mean, Soul
if I
Bad
send
Guy
you
also
this
got
link-
tweaked. So
So here you go, David. That's what he looked like in the old game. And he just sat there. And I mean, the bag
Right.
literally has infinite written on
it's
it.
Infinite
like,
Bergs.
he literally has infinite burgers, which is hilarious.
Well, cool. I mean, he looks sick.
So, okay.
All right.
There you go.
Very good.
Cool. Well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we'll have DJ Cream to talk about Vortex Gallery.
You got it. Let's do it. All right, cool. Welcome back, everybody. We're going to have an interview up here shortly for you. Let's hop into it. Woo! All right, I think it's working. Yeah?
Woo! It's working. It looks
What's
like
going
it.
on? Daryl, do you prefer to call us Daryl or DJ Cream? What do you prefer us calling you?
I mean, either is fine nowadays. I feel like, I've been around the scene long enough that either is applicable
Okay.
at this point.
Okay.
So we're going to be talking a lot about Vortex Gallery, but before we do talk about that and Animivo before that, let's just talk about you a little bit and your background. How is it that you got into the FGC and sort of what made you want to take fighting games more seriously?
So I grew up in NorCal, and for the most part, I grew up in arcades, so a lot of the older gentlemen who used to frequent the arcades used to be like my older brothers and like family and stuff like that.
Right.
So yeah, I grew up playing like CVS 2, Marvel 2, and then waiting in that long line of quarters, I would play like whatever's left in the arcade, so DDR, Initial D, all that good stuff, right? So yeah, it wasn't until like the birth of like Street Fighter 4 where travel and competition was starting to become a little bit more frequent. So yeah, so I have Capcom roots, but eventually I found like the anime scene, so like Guilty Gear, but most importantly Melty Blood, which is like up here behind me.
Yeah. Okay.
And
Melty Blood is what you consider like that's your jam right there. That is your series, basically.
Hey, real quick, David, could you hit that timer?
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you have one job, David.
I have...
No, it's on the topics page. Just go to the topics page, click on that thing, and click save, and it'll start it. So, there we go.
Got it.
Perfect.
All right, this is for real now. PTI now. All right,
yeah.
Here we go. So yeah, Melty Blood. That's my jam. I went to like the second Evo I've ever been to was the Melty Blood Evo. So that's where so that's where I linked up with a lot of people who are still doing their things today. So people like Stickbug and Shinobi for Climax of Night. That's where I met up these cats, and I'm surprised to see all these like players and people still doing their things today. So Melty Blood. If it wasn't for this game right here, I wouldn't be talking to you guys today about Anime Evo / Vortex Gallery.
What was it about that game that really dragged you in like that?
So Melty Blood, the one thing I've like grown to appreciate is the freedom of expression. That game's combo system seems if you touch Marvel vs. Capcom 3, the simplicity of going from light, medium, heavy into launcher, all that good stuff. It feels natural. And in Melty Blood's case, you could go backwards in the chain. So
it's Under Night In-Birth style, right?
Correct.
You can't repeat the button.
I think it'll be Melty Blood style because that came out first.
Yeah.
Exactly. So if you've ever, wanted to say, hey, this crouching sweep is like -20, but I can hit jab to cut the recovery, that's when like my mind expanded, right? So like I know Ultra David is like he plays Q in Third Strike, right? So you know how much of a death button it is to like have your crouching sweep blocked.
Yes.
So what if you cut the recovery and then make sure that Chun-Li can't punish it on hit, right? So
that would be nice.
Yeah. So yeah, like that fluidity like opens up a lot of like freedom of expression, and that's kind of been like how I like to approach fighting games now with my character choices. It's more or less looking at their tools and what they can do to like exemplify how I prefer to play a game rather than like going for top tiers and like winning off the same strategies, blah 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 blah.
In NorCal, I'm curious. Before we talk about the rest, what arcades did you play at? Or like where at?
So I'm not from the Bay Area, so I'm all the way out in like the farm rural area of like of California. So if I had to fight, like if I had to travel out for competition to fight like John Choi, Ricky Ortiz, all these other like like Hall of Fame or first battler NorCal players, right? I would have to drive out like an hour out, like an hour and a half out to the Bay.
Okay.
So my home arcade for a while was like a regional golf land, but that got closed down, and then we got moved to the mall, which that got closed down. So, by then Street Fighter 4 was popping off, so your standard Bachelor Pad / FGC house kind of took off for that era.
Right. Okay.
For sure.
Now, again, before we get on to the next topic, because I have no pulse, I have no in to the Melty Blood scene. How hype are they? This new Melty Blood entry. I mean, is it just like, is the Melty Blood scene just like completely just like going insane over all the information that they're getting?
Oh yeah, totally. Like honestly, like a new HD Melty Blood was such a pipe dream. If you told me that November last year that we're gonna get a new Melty Blood in HD, I would have called BS. I would have said you were lying. But the fact that we that project got announced and we're getting it so soon, everyone who's touched Melty Blood is saying, yo, this they thought the previous version Melty Blood AACC, right, like current code, that was kind of a daunting ask to get into. So starting off from a fresh slate, where everybody is learning together and stuff like that. A lot of new players are excited to get in, and a lot of the veteran players are now starting to really get excited for this game. Now that we saw gameplay footage in the last 2 trailers.
I was gonna say they have some character trailer stuff. They've had some gameplay footage. They've had some explanation of system mechanics and stuff. How do those strike you? Are you excited about those, or what do you think?
Yeah, so last week I was speaking on the Best of the V podcast, and that was before all these new trailers showed up. Yeah. And I was kind of cautiously optimistic because I didn't see anything that resembled Melty Blood aerial movement, for example. And then this weekend came around, we saw 2 character trailers, and then the movement is ridiculously clean. Whoever was recording for these trailers to get this footage, they knew how to play Melty Blood. I saw burst baits, instant air dashes, all that good stuff, and all that really harkens back to the feel and essence of Melty Blood.
Cool. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that you're excited. Not everybody who gets a new game in their favorite series is stoked about the direction. I feel like it's often the case actually that people, regardless of series, are not happy about this or that. So I'm happy for you that you feel excited. Cool.
I mean, to be honest with you, I would talk about the game more, but unfortunately, I'm not being paid that influencer money by French bread. So, I have no impetus to talk
Big
about the
French
game,
bread.
So.
Big French bread money, of course. Yeah, this is why I've held French bread side tournaments down at EVO for so long.
Oh, yeah, I bet. It's all waiting for this day that you knew would come, apparently.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Okay, so let's talk about how you got into tournaments. Being a fighting game fan, playing games is quite a step even from then actually holding events and getting into a place where you're holding really big events, too.
Mm-hmm. All right, so for TOing, I've actually was the person who would, actually run the tournaments at the local level. So my area, I started out as a Smash TO because a lot of the people around me were playing Smash. So Brawl, and even recently before COVID, I introduced a new generation of Smash players to meet each other to play Smash Ultimate together. So
cool.
it's funny. I don't really play Smash, but if it comes to creating a tournament environment, I know how to do that. So. Yeah, so started with Smash Bros, and then for a while I was content with doing stuff locally, and then I went to EVO. I kept going to EVO. I see that EVO only announces 1 anime game every year for a hot second.
Yeah.
And I was like, where's Melty Blood at? So around 2013-14-ish, ran Melty Blood side tournament at EVO. Nice. Noticed that there's other TOs who do anime games like BB, Guilty Gear, old Guilty Gear, right? Noticed that they were all doing side tournaments at the same time, and I was like, why don't we just combine our efforts into one thing? And then so that the message doesn't get the message becomes a lot clearer that, hey, there's anime games at EVO. Y'all should show up to EVO.
That's a great idea, because having them all separate, you have to be in the right area. But if all of them are promoting one thing, you'll automatically hear about all the other ones, right? So that's actually a really good idea.
And also it kind of makes you go from, we're a side tournament to we're more official. We're kind of our own thing now. It's not. I mean, yeah, we're at EVO, but this is our little section of EVO.
Right.
Yeah, like we've commandeered the BYOC area for multiple years now. So like it's kind of sad that the BYOC is supposed to be like this casual play area after like you go 0-2 in bracket and stuff like that. But the fact is like we have so many games running side tournaments that there's not even any casual stations left.
Yeah.
So hopefully that's a thing that gets improved upon now that they got Sony money. But we'll see in the future.
Yeah.
We have no plans. We're trying to get through this year first.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Okay. You want to talk about this year? What's going on?
All right, let's talk about this year. So last year, the whole EVO thing happened where we were hyped to play.
Actually, before we get there, I just want to figure out. So, like, when you guys all got together and you formed Anime Evo, like, you guys formed like an official group. Like, were you one of the people immediately in charge of that? And like, did you guys like sit down and be like, let's form this thing, and you are going to be the in charge, and you're going to be like, how did that?
Hell no. It's never like that. It's always like, hey, we're all working together for like a common goal, and then just like our end game kind of just aligned with with everybody else's like end game, where we just want to like make sure that we run our side tournaments efficiently and not step on anybody else's toes. So we're not trying. So we're talking to each other, scheduling. Hey, BB's gonna run at this time, but Guilty Gear is gonna run at a different time on a different day. That way we don't have like the cross. That kind of scheduling conflict, like.
Right.
But now that we keep doing it and our staff gets bigger and our list of games get bigger, that becomes an issue that's really hard to avoid nowadays. Because like in 2019, the last Evo, we had like close to 30 different games running, and that was a scheduling nightmare. But we pulled through.
And speaking of, I mean, now talk about this year and this year's list.
All right, so. Yeah. What we usually do every year is we make an announcement. We make our first announcement saying, "Hey, we've talked to everyone within our staff that's been with us for X amount of years, and like we know they want to run this tournament this year." And then we announce an initial lineup of games. This year we announced like 20 something games, and then like 40 something tournaments, and then we go back to the community, ask the community, "Hey, does anybody else want to run stuff?" Sure. Within a 3-week period, thankfully we have a list, or we have a lot more people, from all over the place saying, "Hey, we want to run this crazy game," right? So sure. Now our list is ballooned to 80 something tournaments, 41 games. Yeah.
Dude.
Now, should I try to read all? You know what the funny thing about this picture is, though? It actually makes me think of like the bookshelf of games.
Right.
The DVD case, and I love that. However, I've seen other people talk about this and how like boxes would become inconsistent, and it's really I have to ask, why is Ultra Fight Da Kyanta 2 a completely different font?
If you look at like your bookcase of games, each game has like an individual font. Kyanta,
right?
Their default font is Comic Sans. Come on, you already know it.
Yeah, James, why don't you read them off?
Yeah. Okay, let's do it. Okay, so this year's Vortex Gallery, and we'll talk about the name change obviously at some point. Official list is ARMS, Asuka, 120%, Limit Over, BlazBlue Central Fiction, BlazBlue Cross Tag Battle, Dan Kuga, Digimon Rumble Arena, Eternal Fighter Zero, Fantasy Strike, Fight of Animals, Fighting EX Layer / Fexel Another Dash, Garo Mark of the Wolves, Guilty Gear XX Accent Core Plus R, Gundam EX versus Maxi Boost On, Inuyasha, A Feudal Fairy Tale, Jackie Chan, Fists of Fire, JoJo's Heritage for the Future, Kill la Kill If, The King of Fighters 2002 Kizuna Encounter, Lethal League Blaze, Mahjong Soul, Melty Blood Actress Again Current Code, Neo Turf Masters, Punch Planet, Puyo Puyo Champions, Puyo Puyo Tetris 2, Samurai Showdown 5 Special, Skullgirls Second Encore, Street Fighter the Movie, Tatsunoko vs. Capcom, TMNT Tournament Fighters, Toho Hiso Tensoku?
You nailed it. You're good.
Twinkle Star Sprites, Ultra Fight Da, Kanta 2, Umineku Golden Fantasia, Under Night in Birth, EXC Late, CLR, Vampire Savior, Virtua Fighter 5, Ultimate Showdown, Waku Waku 7, and Windjammers.
Nice work.
Good job.
Nice.
That is a really long list, and I'm very curious about the organizational structure that it takes to have all those lined up. I mean, that must take a tremendous amount of work.
Yeah, so part of the reason why it's taking forever to get our stuff situated is the fact that scheduling this, we had like 2 different scheduling meetings, both of which took about 3 to 4 hours apiece to make sure we can schedule all these games. Because luckily the magic of online tournaments is that we're not stuck to a specific weekend. We can spread all these tournaments apart. So
Sure.
we've commandeered every weekend in September for all of our tournaments. So every weekend in September, there's about 10 to 15 tournaments going on.
Now,
Man.
obviously, one of the games that I see in there is Skullgirls, but now Skullgirls is an official Evo game. Are you guys just going to run a second Skullgirls event then?
I mean, pretty much. Okay. Skullgirls was recently added to EVO, right? This is going on independently of us doing our planning thing. And our Skullgirls tournament is specifically targeted to the Brazilians, the Brazilian players.
Whoa.
Yeah, so fun fact, are about it feels like 15 to 20 of our tournaments, they're all Brazilian tournaments.
Okay.
So, yeah, so last year, we linked up with the Brazilian TOs out there, and they really liked what we were doing, and we were really happy to link up with them again this year, and they're running more tournaments for more games. So yeah, a lot of our tournaments will be South American based. So
dang, that's cool.
That is cool.
Okay. That's super cool because, again, South America is just one of those regions. Those guys are itching to get their names out there playing these fighting games, man. They are into it, and they just don't get the opportunities that a lot of other people do.
yeah. And then that's the beauty about these online tournaments. Usually, we only see North America, maybe some Japanese play if they do fly over this. But since moving to an online space, we have a lot more flexibility to work with other communities in different regions. So it's really interesting and really worthwhile talking to these individuals, these community leaders for their regions, to see what we can do to help shine a spotlight on them.
Now I saw Windjammers in there. If Windjammers 2 comes out before your tournament date, will you guys switch over? Or are you just gonna stay with
our tournament lineup is locked in, so we're good. As much as I want to put Type Lumina in there, is no, we got enough on our plate. We're good now.
Sure.
Now, obviously, you guys started as Anime or Animevo, however it was supposed to be pronounced, right?
Yeah.
And so you guys did start with fighting games mostly, but I see not Punch Plant. I see Neo Turf Masters, Puyo Puyo, Mahjong Soul. You've obviously expanded to a lot of different things. I mean, is this kind of an intention of going even beyond fighting games?
I mean, we're just looking at it, piece by piece, because as fighting game players, we're just naturally competitive. Funny enough, we can be competitive in any genre. Personally, I play a lot of TCGs, so Magic and Pokemon and Weiss, those are my kind of games. But last year we introduced Mahjong Souls, which is a first for us, and that tournament was really popping off. I really I've been a Mahjong player, but I've never really experienced high level Mahjong play before, so that's cool. Speaking of which, Mahjong Souls, we have a cap that's 256 players. Over the weekend, we're halfway to our cap already. So if you want to get on Mahjong Souls, I strongly recommend registering now.
What's the rule set that Mahjong Soul runs on? Is it Hong Kong or?
It's Japanese Riichi Mahjong.
Oh, okay. Got it. Okay. Just curious, that's all. Just curious, because I love me some mahjong, but I definitely play Taiwan rules, so I have to see how they compare. So
Taiwan's kind of chaotic. You just throw like a lot of tiles into the middle. It's like really hard to keep track of who threw what early on, all that good stuff. So,
yeah,
I've seen international mahjong play.
Let's talk about the name. So James mentioned Anime Evo or Anime Evo, which I've never known how to pronounce properly, and now it is Vortex Gallery. Talk about why that switch happened, and then also why you went with the name Vortex Gallery.
All right, so Anime Evo, there was the whole kerfuffle last year with Evo not being able to run their event, and then that kind of like gave us an opportunity to like look at ourselves like, all right, without Evo, what? So, at that point, it felt like the perfect time to, figure out, what we want to go do with our tournament series going forward. And if we continue with the stapling the Evo name onto our tournament lineup, it kind of just pigeonhole us into like saying, hey, we're the tournament at Evo.
Right.
We want to be something that we can grow beyond Evo, not like, if we want to do something at Combo Breaker, for example, we can't be Anime Evo at Combo Breaker, can we? So we chose a new name that gives us a little bit more flexibility to do our own thing elsewhere. And if we just try to do our own thing, like IRL, that'd be crazy. But we'll see what happens. But at least the name change gives us that flexibility.
Why did you go with Vortex Gallery? How was that chosen?
All right. When we were like, throwing darts at the wall, figuring out names, we were like, dude, we have like no creative like capacity to do this, right? So what real people do is look at what the names of colors in Under Night in Birth are labeled as, and we chose the coolest one. So Hyde has a color named Vortex Galaxy, which sounds cool. And then we went a step further and we said, what if we're a gallery of games that people can watch and view? So,
dude, those Under Night in Birth names are so good. That is genius.
I love it. Yeah.
So yeah, thank you to French Bread giving us the inspiration for our name, because we were stuck in a rut because we had all these generic fighting games sounding like bad mechanics almost, but the color schemes in Uni, read them because they're funny.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the name of the group though. The was it 956, right? Like, I love that. I love that because that's one of those like kind of if you know things, But that's like the company, right? And the Vortex Gallery is the event, right?
Correct. So when we're referring to ourselves as a group, as a collective, we're gonna be 956, kind of like how Jeb Bailey has like the CEO brand, right? So
now
Vortex Gallery is just gonna be a tournament within our umbrella.
Okay.
Kind of deal.
Now, basically, I mean, the plans are probably to try to run a Vortex Gallery live event at Evo whenever it comes back offline, right?
I mean, yeah, a lot of the 956 Pro team, we're based in the West Coast, so Evo is usually the biggest tournament happening in the West Coast. It's the easiest one that we can travel to.
Right.
And then but like we said, I got to see what happens next year, because with Sony under the helm, like I don't know if the flexibility that we have to operate is still going to be there once we come back. So we'll see.
And I mean, was it cool? Because I know you actually worked with the Evo staff before, so you guys actually kind of got your own stream station for some of your own games and stuff like in 2019, right? I mean, did that go well? Or was that kind of a flustercuck?
I mean, 2019, we still had like a bajillion games, and it was still a scheduling nightmare. Like the thing that hindered us the most is like we need information as soon as possible, and if that information comes like a week before Evo, it makes scheduling and especially stream scheduling a nightmare for us.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I can see that.
So yeah, I mean, like we're not in a rush to get back to IRL tournaments. We want to feel out the what the landscape's gonna look like post, like now that there's a hard reset button on the tournament scene. Like I don't know if like SCR, NCR is going to be back next year, for example. Like, I don't know
Right.
what the major tournament scene is going to look like in 2022. So we'll
Fair
see.
enough. Yeah, no, that does make sense. I was gonna ask more about if you guys have thought more explicitly about in-person plans, but it's true that there's gonna be a lot of changes.
Yeah,
Hard
it's
to
hard
know
to
what's gonna
tell.
go. Yeah,
Mhm.
for sure. Just for people, if anybody doesn't get it, I don't know. Just if anybody out there doesn't understand what the 956 is supposed to refer to, why don't you let them know? They might be wondering.
Clearly, David knows for
Oh, yeah.
sure.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, before there was like dash macros and stuff like that in a lot of modern games. The easiest way how to get the lowest possible air dash is if you know your keypad notation. It's going from 9 neutral, which is 5 to 6, which is up, forward, neutral, forward. And we were like, yeah, this makes the most sense for us.
I think that's really cool. Yeah, it's about moving forward. I like it.
Mm-hmm.
All right, so plug it for me. How can people get involved? How can people register, etc.?
All right, so 95 or Vortex Gallery. You can follow all of our operations at 956 Productions on Twitter. We've launched registration over the weekend. So if you want to sign up for any one of these 80-something tournaments, because your favorite game is Jackie Chan, for example, yeah, hit us up. We are currently in the middle of formatting our Discord, so it's gonna look kind of rough when you first join our Discord, but by September everything's gonna be up and operated, and we're gonna be ready to run 80-something tournaments. Yeah, that's pretty much it. Oh, if you want to volunteer, we still have a volunteer form. It's in our pin tweet. So if you want to, let's say, stream, commentate, or be a Discord mod or a chat mod, that's greatly appreciated.
Cool, man.
One of the most important roles of running these online tournaments is that that Discord mod. Trust me, I know.
Well, cool. Thanks a lot for coming on to talk with us about it. Is there anything else
Yeah,
that you want to say?
absolutely.
Well, I have that one last question before you close out here. Where's your handle from? I asked this question to everybody. Actually.
Oh no.
I feel like this is one that it could go to dangerous places.
Yeah.
There is the option that you don't have to answer this.
No,
right?
you have to answer right now. It is law. Talk to my lawyer.
AOL screen name. The cream is for the Wu-Tang song "Crash Rules Everything Around Me." DJs because I'm a music game player. So when you're in Beat Mania, that's it always comes with DJ first and then your 3 initials.
Right. Okay.
Yeah, I talked about how I played DDR back then.
Okay.
That's totally cool and reasonable. Like I thought.
I know, right?
It could way worse.
Yeah.
It's so much worse.
Oh, as a player, I got called a lot of really bad names. So,
I'm sure.
yeah.
All right, man. Thanks again. Appreciate it. Good luck
yeah,
with everything.
Thanks for having me, guys.
No, what was the last thing that you wanted to say before I interrupted you with that question? Any last things that you wanted to say?
Oh, I just want to say, we have a really strong staff who's putting in a lot of dedication. My boy Hograve and my boy Osu, Aaron Light, who's kind of new to the staff because he got on with Mahjong Souls, but he's been putting a lot of work handling the Discord, complexities and stuff like that. So I'm super appreciative that we have a really strong team dedicated to make sure that this tournament is going to be run spectacularly come September.
You got it. Cool. Thanks a lot. Woo.
Thanks,
See ya.
guys.
Later, Ami. Thanks for coming on.
All right. And
I think you have the stinger not playing long enough. I think the stinger has to go for an extra second.
Okay.
Yeah, come on, man, with the stingers.
I'll fix that next time.
God.
Sorry, that's my OCD kicking in there. So,
all right. Cool. Thanks a lot, Tim, for coming on. Dude, that is a ton of work, and the fact that they have 80+ tournaments that they're actually running,
Kind of ridiculous.
You saw all the game names, but then there's different regions as well. Like that is.
I don't
Shout-outs to them on that.
envy them, dude. Seriously.
Super cool. All right. Well, you want to move on to the next one?
The thing. Move on to the next thing.
Okay, cool. How about we do that right now?
Have you not pasted it into the thing already?
And
Oh, David. David.
All right, it worked out, everybody. Everything is great. Cool.
No delay whatsoever.
Not at all. How does this part work?
So click show poll, and then make sure you set the font to at least, like, try 25 for now, and then save it, and then the text should show. Okay, so just keep increasing it until something fits here. There you go.
Until it breaks. Just keep going up.
All right, it's
going
broken.
up.
Broken.
Going up.
All right. Here's the questions for today. Oh, James, you have to run this part because I honestly don't know how to do it. The selection.
Oh, the poll, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I can do that. No
All right,
problem.
sweet.
That's,
Thank you.
That's easy.
So here's the 6 that we have collated for today. Number 1, which fighting game has or had the most down players? Number 2, how important do y'all think visual character design is for high-level players? Have any of you ever picked up a character just because you like their look? Hey, I just gotta say, thanks for the implication that we're high-level players. I appreciate that. Number 3, what's your opinion on rivalries between fighting game sub-communities, e.g. Guilty Gear fans versus Street Fighter fans versus NRS fans, in the present landscape? 4, I'm loving Guilty Gear Strive right now, but just got a bad case of gamer thumb, tendonitis, and cramping muscles. Do y'all think the intensity and speed of motions required for fighting games like this hold them back accessibility-wise? 5, do you think a fighting game crash is coming? The Nickelodeon game makes me think too many developers are chasing too small a market. The dark ages of fighting games were right after the golden age, after all. 6, what are some matchups between players you would love to see and why? Assuming that the players will be in their prime form and that they'll both be proficient at whatever game they go head-to-head on. All right.
So what I've done here is I created the poll so that you just type in !1, !2, etc. through !6, and that will start the vote. Also, does it say that the vote has started by any chance anywhere?
Nope, sure hasn't.
Let's see. Does that register as? Oh yeah, it did. Okay. So you can start voting for it. And then also, if you are a subscriber to us via Twitch, you can do 2 votes. So if you are a Twitch subscriber, you can do 2 votes. And you guys can't see what the vote count is because I have it over here. So I will you tell me when you want the vote to stop, basically.
Okay, you got it. I'm going to pick 2 as well.
Whoa, that's cheating, David.
For sure. What, I can't vote in my own contests?
I mean, I'm not voting. Why
not?
So, because I want to allow the people to have the choice. Oh, that's right. Moobot does link the percentages.
Moobot
that's right.
Tells you what's up.
Okay. Yeah.
Moobot's a snitch.
All right,
well,
well,
let's give it like another.
All right, give me a
30
countdown.
seconds.
Give me a countdown, Tubbleware.
Oh, that's way too long of a countdown, man. What do you want from me here?
I want you to just keep talking.
9, 8, 7, 6, 5. That's a great question, Trips. 4, 3, 2, 1. The winners are number 5 and number 1.
Number 5 and number 1. Okay, all right. Let's.
Well, actually, number 1 just got passed up by number 6.
Well, we called it.
It was too late. Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
buddy.
okay, all right, okay. So it's number 5 and number 1.
Sick. Let's do them.
All right.
All right. 5-5 matchup. This. Cool.
Yep. There you go.
Got it. All right. So 5-5 matchup. The first. Which fighting game has or had the most down players? All right. What do you guys got?
NRS community. It's not one game. It's the whole NRS community. I'm calling you guys out. You believe that your games are on a short life cycle, so you have to downplay the top tiers and make sure they don't get nerfed because you only got 1.5 to 2 years to play your game. I don't blame you for it. I understand it, but you for sure downplay more than any other game I can think of.
Now, are we talking about downplaying characters or downplaying the game itself?
Characters, probably.
I would assume.
Okay,
yeah.
characters. Okay. Which one has the most down players, huh?
Tubbleware.
This was Tubbleware's question. No, it was not.
Tubbleware, I would hate to disagree with you. And wait. I would love to disagree with you, is what I'm looking for. I would love to say that that's not true.
But however...
But I don't think I can say that that's not true. Yeah, it may be the NRS scene. That may be right. Yeah, I think that has happened less than it did in the past. Dude, in the past. And I was involved in this too. You know, people would be brigading for buffs to their characters when they knew that it wasn't necessary. And, I mean, I did that back in Injustice 1. I thought Bane was good at launch, and they buffed him. I mean, he wasn't, like, top tier or anything, so when they buffed him, he still wasn't the best character in the game. So it's reasonable. It was okay. But, yeah, definitely that happened a lot, and definitely also continues to happen. But, like I said, I think that it happens less now. Like, I think it's pretty wide consensus. Like, nobody thinks Cetrion's not good. She's obviously good. A lot of people think she's the best. Everybody thinks that she's one of the best. I don't know that there's anybody now who like strikes me as like really downplaying characters big time. I think some characters get undervalued a little bit. I still see people putting RoboCop low, and I don't think that that's right. But it's also like pretty well balanced in MK11. So,
yeah, but you know what's important about that, David? The announcement that it's not getting patched. What do you need to downplay for now? Just be honest. My character's the way it's going to be forever. Why would you need to downplay anymore?
No. Yeah, I mean, you're right. You're right. But even before that, I mean, I guess what I mean is I think that happens less in MK11 than it did in the previous games. Like each game I would say it's happened a little bit less, but even still, it definitely happens more than the other scenes that I pay attention to. I think that's true.
Gosh, I mean, I don't even know how I would answer this because, like, I don't have a finger in the pulse of the NRS community as much, so I don't get to hear a lot of the downplay. I just hear more of the jump attacks are too strong, and then down one is too strong as an anti-air, which is always the funniest thing, right? But I mean, same thing happens in Street Fighter V. Standing light punch too good as an anti-air, and jumping is too good. In Street Fighter V, like you're gonna complain about whatever. There was one game that came. I mean, right now I see a lot of downplaying in Guilty Gear Strive. Let me tell you right now, dude. I actually like people trying to claim that Soul is actually manageable. Come on.
Who is saying that? I feel like 90% of people at minimum are dunking on Soul. I haven't seen too many Soul defenders.
Yeah, even Soul players I've seen are like, yeah, my character's really strong.
Yeah,
like,
this is stupid, and I play him because he's stupid.
Yeah,
or I play him because I've always been a Soul player.
Right.
Some people who are saying that May isn't like completely busted, right? And then there's
absolutely not even close to being on Soul bad guys level.
And then Giovanna, some people are saying she's bad now in the game. You know, the only real one is Potemkin's not strong in that game, so Potemkin definitely needs buffs. That's the only one that is of pure honest opinion, dude. So.
Big falsehoods. Yeah.
Potemkin's so good.
He's obviously good.
He's really good.
Yeah, and obviously Potemkin's good.
Yeah.
It's very clear. That game doesn't have anybody who sucks. I do think that some of them are on the lower end, but like obviously nobody sucks in that game. I don't know that I've seen that much downplaying. I think what I've seen instead is more like an upplayed flavor of the week in that game, like maybe not even of the week, like an upplayed flavor of the couple of days, where like, God, I feel like I've seen people freaking out about Nago, Leo, May, all these characters have had their like time in the sun of like this character's so good. Ram, Chip, of course. I'm sure.
You know who hasn't yet? Who deserves it is Axel.
I think so too. I absolutely agree with you. You know that.
How are people sleep on this character?
He's been doing so well in so many tournaments, dude. It's crazy.
It's almost like he wins a bunch of matchups. It's weird.
He does win a bunch of matchups. I think
I actually didn't get to watch your Monday morning's quarters back. What did you think of that match between XYZZY and Fab?
I think I came away from it thinking the same thing that I thought before, which is that Axel wins it, but that it's doable for Potemkin. He just has to guess right when he's up close. In that match, when FAB got close, he just didn't guess right like very consistently, and you know, that's on him. Like, that's the player,
Them's
not the
the breaks,
character at that
kid.
point. Yeah. But he definitely did get up close, like, not
Actually,
often, but enough.
16-bit does bring up a good one. Killer Instinct had a lot of downplaying, didn't it?
They did.
Hey, I did have
They
a ton
did.
of downplay.
Yeah, that's gonna be my official answer because I mean, I know. I know somebody who's got like super frustrated with all the downplaying of their characters and everything, you know.
I don't know. Yeah, by the way, yeah, I do think that Axel does fine against Soul. Everybody explodes when they get hit by Soul. That's not a problem that's only for Axel, but in neutral, I think that he does pretty fine. And then also it's hilarious that 16-bit says that Wound Cowboy was complaining about Shang over the weekend. Shang Tsung, a character that many people think is one of the best in MK11.
Yeah.
That nobody thinks is bad, maybe except for him. Although he's like famously a down player and has always been. So, all right.
I get mad about Killick, but even like today in the NA scene, like Killick player got third place, I think, third or second place. So you know.
Well.
Yeah.
All right.
No, I know Killick is not actually weak in the game. I know it's me more than anything. So.
Okay, let's move on to
What's
the
the
next
next one?
All right, let's do it then.
Number 5.
Number 5. Do you think a fighting game crash is coming? The Nickelodeon game makes me think too many developers are chasing too small a market. The dark ages of fighting games were right after the golden age, after all. What do you think?
I'm gonna.
Oh, go ahead, James.
I'm just gonna say immediately no. I don't. Having lived through that circumstance, they're wildly different. Like, I don't even think they're kind of in a comparable situation. Mostly because one of the reasons why. So, story time, James story time. One of the reasons why the Nintendo has the official seal of approval and why the Atari 2600 died was because people just started making garbage and you couldn't trust anything anymore, right? You just couldn't trust games that you were buying. So Nintendo at least made sure they were some form of functioning games. Now, there were games like Ninja Kid that came out, which are just useless as a video game, but at least they weren't as bad as some of those 2600 games. During the first crash, it happened largely because most of the games that were coming around that time were useless. They were super unbalanced. There was stuff like Mace the Dark Age and Time Killers and, you know, just absolute, you know, like Street Fighter the movie, you know, like there were just games that just had no right to be released and they weren't playable and they weren't competitive, etc., etc. And there wasn't a big enough audience. So back then, the games that people did play, like Killer Instinct, maybe, you know, Samurai Showdown, there were so few players that it kind of split the audience because the big giant Street Fighter 2 audience was gone already by that point. And so all the games sucked whichever one you were good at into that game, and there just wasn't enough people to sustain it. I don't think that's the case anymore. I think that there's so many fans of fighting games, and they're all actually good. So, like, we're never gonna get to League of Legends level, I don't think, but I don't think we're gonna hit a crash. That's my opinion. So.
Yeah, I mean, just to add on to that, I don't disagree with James. It's not really comparable now to then. However, this game isn't modeled after traditional fighting games anyways. This game was Nickelodeon went, that Smash game is pretty popular. We have a bunch of IPs. Let's do that. And kids will eat it up, you know, and they're probably not wrong. So if anything, it would be the downfall of platform fighters, like their dark age is coming, which that might actually be true with Smash Ultimate ending. What comes after Smash Ultimate that picks up, you know, the mantle, I guess. But regardless, like, yeah, I don't think this is the sign of a dark age for platform fighters or for fighting games or anything like that. It's just going to be a fun Nickelodeon game that's made by a developer that wants people to take it somewhat seriously. That's all.
And you know, I do want to address something that 16-bit says in the chat, that the crash of the mid-2000s was probably overblown and Capcom focused anyway. But the truth is, Capcom was the main market, right? It was. And, you know, from someone who was at those EVOs, it wasn't like the other scenes kept growing. Like Evo was just shrinking. Evo literally just got less and less people to the point where, like I said, 2008 was the smallest Evo. I knew everybody there. Like everybody I feel like I had seen the previous year. We weren't getting any new faces. And so I think the Dark Ages was a real thing. Yeah, the other games existed, but I just felt like fighting on their way out. I mean, MK is always going to be selling millions of copies, but MK doesn't equal the FGC, right? That's
yeah.
The thing,
I think this is a particularly American and competitive focused view of fighting games.
Yeah.
So I mean, I was around at that time, and that's how I experienced it at the time as well, as being like a kind of drawdown of the games that I was playing. But I was playing only Capcom games, and so was like almost everybody I knew. I knew a couple people who had imported gear. I knew people who did, but not that many. And where I was living just wasn't a Tekken scene either. But you know, those scenes were going off in other parts of the world, and they were legit elsewhere. But like in our particular like American Capcom focused experience, it was different. I think that gets played up too much because that's the perspective that so many of the like media people in the FGC have. Like we are basically Americans who were Capcom focused back in the day. So I think it probably gets more buzz than it actually deserves. But that was our experience anyway.
Yeah. Oh no, I was just saying, because that time, you know, you were mentioning it too, that we were also not getting worldwide releases, so Japan would get things early, so we had to import Guilty Gear. One of the reasons why Tekken was so small in 2007 or 8, I can't remember which one, was because we didn't have Tekken 5 BR. We were just playing regular Tekken 5. And like, there was just so much crap happening that, you know, it just felt like it was hard to be a fighting game fan at that time, I guess is the best way to put it. So
yeah, I don't expect any kind of a crash. I think if there's a crash in the fighting games market, like it's bigger than that. Like that, there would need to be way bigger problems going on if that also happens, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Right.
So I don't expect that to happen. No.
And not to mention, we just got Guilty Gear Strive.
Yeah.
King of Fighters 15 is on the way.
Yeah.
Street Fighter 6 is on the way. Dungeon Fighter Online is on the way. Like, we have so many games coming. We don't have to worry about any sort of crash. It's not happening. Melty Blood.
Soon, yep.
So many things. Nicktoons, Ultimate All-Star Brawl, or whatever it's called. Like, we have so much coming up. There's no way. We're good. We're set for the next 5 years.
I agree, and I think even the premise of the question, which says the Nickelodeon game makes me think too many developers are chasing too small of a market. I don't get that perspective personally. I think that it tells me the opposite. I think it's that Nickelodeon sees that there's money to be made in fighting games and in platform fighters, and that it's not just about the game itself, it's about the nostalgia factor too. Like you mentioned kids, but like I'm gonna buy it because it has Powdered Toast Man in it. Zero kids know who Powdered Toast Man is. Like there's definitely a nostalgia side of that as well, and that's gonna be a big factor in buying, as it is from many different games, right? It's not just this game that's doing that. That's even a big factor in why some of the fighting games that are most successful are successful even still. So yeah, I don't get that sense that the Nick game means that things are going south. I think it's instead a recognition of the opposite, that things are going pretty well.
For sure.
Yeah.
I think so as well.
I'm going to add a little bit in there too. I think that one of the things that's really cool and why I thought it was a big deal and still continue to think is a big deal is the FGC roundtable in Japan. You know, like that, I feel like seeing the fighting game community, even via the developers, kind of coming together and realizing that they're less competition with each other and more helping each other, I think bodes really well for the growth of the genre overall. So, yeah, I'm not worried. Let's put it that way.
No, I don't think any of us are.
Agreed. All right, cool. Okay. Anything else to say on this one?
Hell no. Let's move on.
All right, cool.
Let's talk about this summit, baby.
Let's do it. Boop. So, Smash Summit 11 happened over the weekend. Summit's a long-going series where everybody in this invitational either gets invited or like gets picked by fans to go, and then they go to a location in Southern California. They do a bunch of skits. They have a bunch of different kinds of tournaments. There's like in this there were like doubles, for example, and commentator tournaments and stuff too. And it's kind of a chill atmosphere. Commentators just hanging out on a couch together, and the players are playing up in a room on the top floor, and it's all kind of chill, but also always really good competition with super high level players. So it's happened for Smash again, for Melee specifically, and it was this past weekend. So the winner of it was Mango. Second place was Zane. Third, Hungrybox, and fourth, Plup. There's a bunch to say about this. Did you guys watch it at all?
I did not get a chance to see it. Oh, you did? Nice.
I did. I watched some Smash.
Sweet.
It was sick.
Okay.
Yeah. What parts did you watch?
Most of top 8. I watched. Saw Mango's run, ridiculous run.
Yeah.
Now,
losers.
is that the first time Mango's won a big event recently, or has he?
Well, that's his first summit.
That's his first summit win.
And there's been no big events recently. So.
Right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I just even mean within like the last 3 years, 4 years, right? Because Mango kind of pseudo stopped playing, and I don't know.
I'd be very surprised if he hadn't won some major within the last 3 years.
Okay. He's won majors pre-COVID. Okay, thank you, All Day Napper. Thank you.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I was just looking it up on Liquipedia, but
I just don't know, and I just want to be able to know. So that's all. He won Big House 9. Got it. Okay.
There you go. Yeah, it was sick. It was a sick run. I felt terrible for Zane.
Yeah.
Zane
so if you're not a big Smash player, Zane has been a lot of people think is the best player in the world. Has been for a while. And so when it was Zane in grand finals on winner's side, and Mango had to make the complete comeback, a lot of people thought that it wasn't going to happen. Dude, honestly, that grand finals was one of the best just fighting game grand finals that I've seen in a long time.
Really? Dang.
Honestly,
Okay.
like if even if you're not somebody who's a big Melee head, I really recommend checking it out because
it was fantastic.
Super
it was so
close, super close. And then there were situations where, like, Zane he's a Marth player, and he was playing on FD, and that's a really hard matchup for many other characters to deal with. And Mango had to beat him twice in that, which was really hard and impressive. Super fun to watch. It was also the biggest prize pool in Smash history, like it says underneath here. So it was, let me get the stat, 146,000, I believe, 147,000.
Jeez.
$147,000. So Mango, not bad. Mango, for getting first place, got $46,700.70.
He made more than I make in a year.
I mean,
in one night. Way to go, Mango.
Second place, Zane got $23,350.35. So half as much, but also like that's a $23,000 money match in grand finals.
There is.
Like, oh my god. And then payout was even all the way down, like all the way down to 16th place. Players got over $2,000 for playing. Yeah, so I mean, it was
bad.
It was a big pot, legit, super cool. Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Check it out if anybody didn't watch. And I before we stop talking about it, I just want to give voice to the fact that their skits are always hilarious. They always do a really good job at having like funny skits in between stuff, and I really like that. It's like a
16-bit. I once got $41 for getting inside that Evo.
Oh my god!
It's so sad.
$41. Oh no!
Why?
That definitely did not cover the food that you had in Vegas.
That didn't cover the flight, the hotel, the food, the entry. That doesn't even cover the entry.
Like, does that
into
cover
the tournament?
Does that cover the water that you drank in Vegas? Like, honestly.
At that time, probably, because that whole water scam was a very recent thing in Vegas, man. Oh yeah, right. Cat. There's 2 cats here right now. Oh man.
But yeah, Mango and Hungrybox both in top 3. Players who have been on the come up big time were have been doing really well, but it's cool to see those guys still on the top end of things as well.
Stop.
Yeah, it was really cool.
All right. Want to move on?
Move on. We're getting through it tonight.
We're
We got a
doing it.
big mailbag.
We do have a big mailbag. That's absolutely right. All right, let's move on to talk about this next one a little bit. There's not a ton to say quite yet, just because a lot of them haven't happened yet. But the EVO 2021 side tournaments are going on and will continue going on. We can talk about a couple that have happened, both for Skullgirls Second Encore and for Soul Calibur 6. Skullgirls was yesterday, and there are results, for North America, Europe, LATAM, Middle East, Asia, and Japan. I'm not going to go through all of them, but that was cool. I watched a little bit of it. I liked the Sharpie on commentary was cool. I really liked that. That was rad. Congrats to her. That was fun to watch. And then today was Soul Calibur as commentated by our very own Jay Chenson.
Starting at 9 in the morning, which I got up at like 7 in the morning so I could grab breakfast. And so I commentated that for like 7 hours with between EU and NA. And here I am. Yay. I've been sitting in this chair for like 10 hours now. So it was really good. It was really good. The matches were super good. Like 4 people from France being in the Europe one, and Kiev was undefeated going into the tournament, prohibitive favorite coming into this tournament. But then Fan Lee from Barcelona, actually, Fan Lee Jr., man, he actually knocked Kiev into losers bracket and then beat him in grand finals. So Barcelona, Spain actually took the EU event. He was a maxi player and he played just so amazingly well. It was pretty sick. And
I watched that. It was cool.
Oh, okay, cool.
I was watching it while doing some other work. Yeah, it was. Oh, yeah, I was awake. Yeah, of course.
Yeah, I know. You're always awake at that time. And then NA was won, not surprisingly, by Zefukai. Zeph is largely been considered one of the strongest players in the U.S.
Hey, real quick, SNK just released a reveal trailer for the next character.
Okay.
Yeah, I saw about that. I saw that. Interesting. I wonder if they messed up. Were they supposed to just release the...
They tweeted it 2 minutes ago. They straight up, here it is.
Maybe they released it and were like, whoops! Oh, well, whatever.
Can you put that in the chat?
Yeah, sure.
All right, continue, James.
Oh, me?
Yeah, was there anything else
you were talking.
Yeah.
About the Soul Calibur stuff. No, yeah. Zeph just basically slaughtered everybody. Basically, he was super dominant, and like I said, came in as one of the best players, and he definitely blew up everybody today. He looked super dominant, but it was really cool because one of the things they also got to do was announce that Soul Calibur is bringing back some of the you know how like Tekken has dojo events and stuff like that. So Bandai Namco is supporting an official like online Soul Calibur thing with dojo events.
Oh, that's really cool.
Oh, that's awesome.
So for a lot of the Soul Calibur players, it's kind of neat. Obviously, you would have hoped for more, but I mean, I'm happy for the Soul Calibur players anyway. So
I mean, as you should be, right? Like, why would you not be?
Yeah,
that's awesome.
Exactly.
All right, yeah, again, that stuff's still going on. So next week, Monday, Blaze Blue Cross Tag Battle will be taking place, and Tuesday will be Grand Blue Fantasy Versus. And then the following Monday, August 2nd, is Under Night, and then Tuesday, August 3rd, is Dragon Ball Fighters. So there's still a bunch of stuff to go on. That's twitch.tv/Evo. Yes, it is.
James?
And Twitch.
Oh, sorry. So it's on twitch.tv/Evo, twitch.tv/PlayStation, and youtube.com/PlayStation.
Okay.
It's on all 3 of those. So, but it seems like the majority of the audience was watching on Evo.
All right. Well, let's get into the 7.5, which is that the new character trailer for King of Fighters just dropped right now.
Sick. Let's watch it.
We're gonna do that. All right.
Oh, 2 reaction videos, 1 stream. What? Look at us. We're real content creators now.
Okay, cool. I'm gonna play.
Wow, that is. I see who it is, and it's kind of sick. Yes. Oh man, that's so cool. Oh just wondering if they're. Oh dang, that actually really stands.
Yeah, that combo, that was cool.
Let's see. Whoa!
Volcano mode.
Okay.
All right.
So I keep thinking. I still want SNK to do this. I still want, like, I hope next week the trailer comes out and they reveal T-Zoc. And then T-Zoc and King of Dinosaurs are like, why did you keep thinking we were the same guy? We told you we were clearly different characters. I think that would be hilarious.
I got bad news.
Well, yeah.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah, he looks. I like how some of those animations looked. Some of those were cool. And
Yeah, I was one of the better looking characters so far.
I agree. I think that's true too. Yeah.
I
I mean,
agree
he's a
with
cool character.
Space
He's fun.
I agree with Space Dive that it's definitely a dinosaur in a human bodysuit. I think that's the lore right there.
Nah.
I'm
Well-
sure Olaf will break you down with the lore tomorrow night on Synchronize.
Yes,
On twitch.tv/jchenzor.
that is correct. That's correct. But obviously, we're not going to be able to have a live reaction to the trailer. We'll just play it and talk about it. So,
Yeah, that's unfortunate.
oh, so it looks like a certain press outlet accidentally posted the trailer. It's always somebody else, man. It's always somebody else. So SNK did tweet out a silhouette. I guess a press outlet accidentally messed up, and so SNK had to delete their silhouette. And we're like, well, here's the trailer.
Yeah, here you go.
Well,
That
that's
sucks.
that definitely is a
Unfortunate.
bummer. Yeah.
Yeah. That's what
Oh,
Rufus
well.
said. Okay, got it.
Okay.
Oh, God. It's always one of those other groups. And it makes me almost wonder if those other outlets do it on purpose or not. Like, oops, we accidentally released it. Come traffic to our website, kind of
The
thing.
prisoner's dilemma. Yeah, that would be interesting.
Yeah, exactly,
probably.
right? Exactly. Ugh.
All right, cool. You want to move on?
Sure,
Let's
do
move it
that.
on.
All right, let's do it. We go into the next one. So I guess we kind of already actually did talk about this in the interview earlier with Daryl. But Melty Blood Type Lumina has had character trailers and some gameplay footage and some like system mechanics breakdown vids. Have you guys seen those? And if so, what do you think?
James?
I haven't had a chance to watch them. I have not seen them yet. So I've seen glimpses of them on Twitter, but I haven't like sat down and watched any of them, unfortunately. So again, Melty Blood is just a game that I know so little about. Like I even said to somebody else at one point in time, I was like, oh yeah, Melty Blood's the game with the air dash tracking and stuff, kind of like, and they were like, that's Arcana Heart. And I was like, oh, shoot, okay, never mind. So,
Nice.
I mean, literally, my knowledge of Melty Blood is pretty low. So I don't have like a really strong frame of reference in my, to really be, because I know there was that tweet that like, look how many influencers are not talking about Melty Blood. Well, when I talk about Guilty Gear, everyone already, you know, accuses me of being the guy who's trying to jump on a bandwagon. Not like I haven't been one of the biggest Guilty Gear fans like entire life, you know. But I mean, if all of a sudden I was hype about Melty Blood, then that literally would be like me because of French bread money or whatever like that. So, you know.
Well,
I have no frame of reference, honestly, and so I don't want to be like jumping in here and commenting on it because I don't really have the authority to say anything. So,
as the kids say, I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't really care about Melty Blood, so nah, I haven't watched. I mean, I've seen the character trailers, but that's it. I haven't watched any of the breakdown stuff or anything like that. I don't know, man. All the characters look the same to me. Like they're aesthetically, not maybe play style, but aesthetically, it's a bunch of kids in school uniforms. It doesn't appeal to me. I need cool character designs if I'm going to be into something, and they all look the same, unfortunately.
All right.
For me, I mean, I'm definitely interested in this game because of Under Night in Birth, because I enjoyed that game so much. So I kind of want to see how similar it is to Melty, but that's the best I can say.
Okay. Well, yeah, I don't have any experience playing Melty either. I mean, I played it, but I never took it seriously and didn't play it for very long. But I am interested, yeah, and primarily because of Under Night, which I really like. And so because of that, I am curious about this. So yeah, I've watched, right. And I think it looks cool. I mean, I basically agree that I'm not interested in the art style, but also like a bunch of my favorite games have art styles that I also don't really care about. So it's not really a deal breaker for me. In fact, for the character that they showed off, Koma Kishima, I thought he looked pretty sick actually. The character like standing there is not super interesting, but the way that he moves I think looks really cool. And
yeah, I mean the stuff the characters do look dope.
Yeah, it's
just the fact that they're all in like navy blue school uniforms.
I hear you.
I'm just like, okay. All right.
I mean, I like the idea of trying to find someone more familiar with Melty Blood and getting them on here to talk about it at one point in time.
I think that would be cool too, for sure.
More and stuff like that. So,
well, again, I think it looks cool. I don't have any info on whether it's super like previous ones, just not having had as much experience. But my understanding is that there's a lot of similarities people have pointed out. But the stuff that I have seen, I think looks cool. So I am interested in the game and will be following it.
Cool.
All right, let's move on to the next one here. We're going to go to number 9, changes for Team Panda. And I don't know, there's a ton to say here. But they dropped Panda Global formerly. I think now they're just Panda. So they dropped Mortal Kombat, Smash 64, Pokemon, card games, Rivals of Aether, and Soul Calibur, just as a blanket. You know, every player that they had who were for those games are no longer on the team. So that includes Prince, Hayate, BNBBN, Cybertron, Akumarura, SKD, Shen-Chan, and Wolfie.
But is it SKD? Oh no, I'm thinking of somebody else. That's Super Kawaii. That's right. Okay, yeah. Okay, got it.
So they are out. However, also Giuna joins the team, and Saint Cola joins in a staff capacity, and Katana Prime is still there. They dropped Mortal Kombat, but he's like in a staff role now instead.
Okay.
So they're changing some stuff. It sounds like they're trying to be more content focused. Maybe not even trying to be, because they have been content focused, but that seems like even more of a focus for them moving forward is how I took it.
I mean, they let go of 8 people to bring in 2. That's like they cleared some cap space to make that happen. You know, like you can't just go around paying 8 people for the price of 2. Like they must really be counting on Giuna and Saint Cola. And I mean, I imagine they actually really are, because they just started a completely separate YouTube channel just for fighting game content.
Yeah.
So I think trading out essentially 8 people for those 2, like that was, part of the ultimate plan to really go into fighting games, even though they dropped some fighting game players.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's still the biggest part of what they are, for sure. So they still have like Punk and Hook Gang God and Kizzy and Marlon Pie, you know. Yeah, Justin's doing stuff with them as well. So yeah, they're definitely still fighting in focus. But yeah, content, they have a YouTube channel. Like they have been, each of those people have had successful stream and YouTubes already. Like that's and Panda's been a big part of that. To hear them tell it, you know, they'll let you know, like they think that Panda's had a huge impact on why they've had success there. So yeah. Anyway, good luck to them in the future. Bummer for the players who were dropped.
Yeah, it sucks.
But like maybe it's not a big surprise that like Mortal Kombat announces that it's not having any more updates, and then players of Mortal Kombat get dropped. I don't know if that's a big announcement.
Right.
Yeah, for sure.
I talked with Hayate a little bit on his stream, and he was just like, yeah, you know, it definitely is a bummer, but like he understands, and he's looking forward to whatever comes next in NRS. But he's also playing Strive right now, so you know he's still trying to do other stuff.
Really interesting. I wonder then, is it actually better for these game companies not to announce that they're going to stop development on a game? Maybe it's actually better for them to not say anything for the benefit of the players who are signed, you know, for these games.
I mean, they can't make their decisions based on esports teams, is my opinion on that. Even as somebody who has clients in the past and present in both player and team capacities.
Right.
So probably shouldn't do that. But yeah, anyway, bummer. But anyway, you know, we'll see what happens. And then next thing here, briefly, there was a tournament that I just wanted to shout out because it's super cool, from CLG, which does a lot of stuff in NRS in general, Console Gaming League, and this was a benefit tournament for a player who is currently battling cancer, Hatman or Slayer Hat, and they raised over $1,700 for in doing that. Super cool. Congrats to them on that. That's amazing. Video Games Yo is the person who won the tournament, one of the best players definitely in the world and in the UK. So it was cool to watch a little bit of that, and congrats on raising that money. You know, best of wishes to Hatman in battling cancer. I don't know the details on that and didn't want to pry, but yeah, there you go. But
up to the FGC again, stepping up for the FGC family. Sorry, I'm leading on out of the field of view here. So
all right.
Cool.
Well, let's...
Hey, my cat just puked. Give me a sec. I'll be back.
Oh, poor guy. Okay.
Oh, no.
Sweet. Dr. Patrick on Twitter. How will EVO 2021 showcase go if this pandemic is still ongoing?
I mean, if if the pandemic is still going, they'll probably cancel it. Honestly.
What are we talking about? What did I miss?
The first mailbag question.
First of all, how's Miles?
Oh, he's fine. It was just a hairball.
Yeah.
Good boy. Second of all,
one morning just recently, I completely woke up to hearing Jasmine going while standing on my bed, and I was like, oh god, and I picked her up and moved her to the ground, and then she puked on my carpet, and I was like, okay, you know what, at least it wasn't on my bed like Nathan's been doing. Nathan's been puking on my carpet like constantly, right, on my bed constantly right now. It's
gross.
Just like,
have I told you the story
Nathan.
of waking up to a hairball on my pillow?
Are you serious? Oh no.
Let me tell you, it wasn't just cat hair that was in that hairball.
No, for sure. Yeah,
there was David hair directly also in that hairball. Oh
yeah,
boy.
it's been licking your hair in your sleep. Gross.
It was basically the worst way to wake up. It was awful.
Yeah.
Good boy. That's a good Ajax. Very cute.
Glad you have a good sense of humor about it.
Yeah, I mean, it was an awful way to wake up. The noise right in my ear, right in my hair. He barfed in my hair. All right. Anyway, we're moving on.
You got what you deserved.
How will the EVO 2021 showcase go if this pandemic is still ongoing? Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Probably not great. But I think I'm not sure that I would expect them to cancel it.
Because that's right. They said that there was no audience for it.
There's no audience.
Right.
There's no audience.
There's no audience.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
And assuming that all of the players and people who are working the event are cool with being vaccinated, which hopefully is the case, you know, they can definitely do that. I mean, I don't know. I guess maybe I should be more expansive than that. There's probably people who are going to win various events from other parts of the world that just don't have access to the vaccine. So that's going to be different. But you can also still get COVID testing. And I think at this point, like, I feel comfortable with small events that are testing and most people are vaccinated and stuff like that to run briefly and have, you know, periods of quarantining before and after. Like that feels to me at this point like it's a pretty standardized process. So I think that I would still expect it to go on, but I don't know.
We'll find out either way.
Well,
yeah,
that's true.
I mean, someone in the Soul Calibur community, one of the most important guys in the Soul Calibur community, just recently came down with COVID. He lives in New York. He's vaccinated, twice vaccinated, and you know, did all the things. He didn't go out, wore the mask, and just really not sure how he ended up getting it. The problem is they don't test to see if it's the Delta variant or whatever, you know, but
right.
I mean, it's still risky out there, man. It's still dangerous. So,
all right, let's party. Drem on Twitter, what are some of your favorite hit sparks and block effects in fighting games? Yes, this is cool. It's a cool question. All right, what do you guys got?
I can quicker think of ones that I hated more than I liked.
Okay, what do you hate?
I didn't even play the game, partially because of it. Season 1 Killer Instinct, it was impossible to see what was going on because of the hit sparks to me. They were huge and gross and in the way and just way too much.
Yeah, those are pretty bad. I really like BlazBlue's sound effects. There's kind of like a crunch to it that I've always thought is super cool and satisfying. And then really old Street Fighter 2, the sound effects to that were just really good, I think. And
the
like
original
the original
Street Fighter 2 is like still so like
still
I
so
wanted someone to I wanted someone to create me a mod for my Street Fighter 5 on PC to bring in the CPS1 hits sound effects, dude, because I think that would just be so sick. That the fierce with the big like the slap and then the heavy kick just being like that deep bass that, you know, it was just like really cool.
I definitely agree.
If we're talking purely on sound, I really love arcade vanilla Street Fighter 4 block stun sounds. Those are super dope.
I don't remember.
Was that different than console version?
It is. It was different from console. Yeah.
Really?
Really?
I ever knew that.
They changed it on console a little bit.
Oh, interesting.
Wow. Okay, weird.
Visually speaking, that's a tough one. Because it's weird, because like one of the funny things is I still remember when Marvel 3 came out, I was like, what the hell with these hit sparks? They're crazy! And now, like, I don't even see them. They're cool. You know, I don't know. It's just like, it's hard to say. I'm trying to think, man. What games do I like the hit sparks and stuff?
I think it's something that I only notice when I don't think it's done well, to be honest.
Yeah,
I notice the sound when I think that it's done well. I think I like hear it. I'm not usually somebody who like cares about the audio in games. I mean, music's cool, but you know what I mean. Like, it's not what I'm paying attention to as some people are.
Sure.
But when it comes to like how they look, I couldn't tell you how they look in any of the games I play. I don't know what it looks like. And does Mortal Kombat even have hit sparks? I don't know. Street Fighter, I don't know what it looks like. Gear, I assume they're there. I really don't know. Maybe it's blue in Gear. Is that true?
I couldn't even tell you, and I play, you know, every chance I get.
Yeah.
It still isn't enough, but yeah, it's just one of those things that you shouldn't notice. It's like it's something that your eyes send to your brain, but you're not like it's not something you're gonna focus on. It's just enough to let you know you got the hit. Just enough.
It says the hit sparks are change color if it's a counter hit or punish, which no one talks about. Does anyone notice?
I never knew that.
Probably not.
That's crazy.
Honestly, first time I've ever heard about that. Now I'm gonna pay attention.
There are games that do that, like that it's really obvious and you need to pay attention to that stuff.
Right.
But
Apparently, it was a mistake. Of a media outlet accidentally released the trailer too early. That's why we got the KOF trailer today. So
Injustice 2 had hit sparks as well. I don't know. Cool. Honestly,
yeah,
I've played who knows how many hours of those two games combined, and I really just had no idea. But that's interesting.
it's like I said, like hit sparks and stuff like that are like commentary, right? When it's good, nobody says anything, and so there you go, right?
Yeah.
I think Tekken's noises are like very unique but weird.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a weird noise to it. But I think it's cool. It's like very unique. All right, let's move on to the next one then. Tabby Nat on Twitter. How important is Twitch versus YouTube versus podcasts for content creators' engagement and monetarily as well?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. All of it's important, and it depends on what you're trying to do with what you're creating, and it depends on if it's gaming or not. That's a very open-ended question. But if you're trying to make a podcast, I can tell you for a fact that while we have 200-300 some people watching right now, 2,000 more people listen to our podcast, and then another 2,000 more watch the show every week, or 1,000 more watch the show every week on YouTube.
Right.
So if you're not doing those things, you're definitely missing out on audience engagement.
For sure. Yeah, it's all important, and it does depend on what kind of stuff that you're doing as a content creator, because not all content creators have stuff that is even doable as podcasts. You know, if it's this is definitely something that can be audio only if you want it to be, but the other stuff that we do on this channel and that other people do is not at all. It's like primarily not audio.
What I was told here is that Twitch is absolutely dog shit for discovery.
Right.
It is.
Like,
it's
you
really
can't
bad.
find shit on here. So YouTube is actually really important for even building the Twitch audience.
Right.
So if you want Twitch audience to grow, you actually need YouTube to help you do that. And that's kind of because you'll see a lot of times people will be in the chat and be like, oh, this is my first time catching the show live, you know, and because YouTube actually gives them better discoverability. So if you are a Twitch channel and you don't have YouTube, like you can't grow your thing unless you're just one of those people who gets super lucky, basically. So, you know, that's kind of the factor of it. If you are a Twitch streamer, YouTube has to be part of your weaponry, basically, to try to gain viewers.
And it's true that YouTube is also not easy to be discovered on, but it has a way to do that. And it's not like it's easy to make it happen, right? That's not what we're saying, but like it exists, and that just doesn't exist on Twitch.
There's an actual algorithm that you can follow, and people have broken down and figure out the best times to upload things and all that. And if you're savvy enough, you can find all that information on the internet. So yeah, YouTube is easier to grow on than Twitch. Absolutely.
Yeah, it's yeah, you're right. It's not great, but compared to Twitch, like, how often do you ever click on Twitch and then you go to a random channel that you've never been to because it recommended or something like that, right?
Yeah.
Like, that just never happens. You only go to Twitch because someone on social media told you come to this Twitch channel. I mean, look at the Street Fighter tournaments right now, right? You have stuff on Intel channel, something like that, and you get no viewers.
Right.
Like, literally, the Intel World Open would have more viewers if it was on Team Spooky. Why?
For sure.
Because there's no discovery on the site. Because you watch a lot of Street Fighter V on Team Spooky, on Capcom Fighters, it doesn't lead you to the Intel World Open at all.
Yeah, you have to
Like,
you have to be interested enough
all.
in Street Fighter V to go to the category of Street Fighter V and see what's playing there, and then if be enticed by the name or by the view count or whatever it is.
Right.
Yeah, it's not a great system. That's for sure. All right. Good?
Yep. On to the next one.
Casmer. EX
Oh,
Casmer on Twitter.
This motherfucker.
If a green witch put a curse on you. If a green witch put a curse on you.
It has to be a green witch.
It's a green witch only. If a green witch put a curse on you, would you rather your voice always have massive reverb or a 12-second delay?
Reverb, clearly. Because then people would notice me a little bit more and I could actually get my 12-second delay is too long, dude. You wouldn't be able to say anything significant at all in any conversation in any way, shape, or form.
An effect whereby the sound produced by an amplifier or an amplified musical instrument is made to reverberate slightly. Oh, thanks for what a terrible definition that is.
It basically gives it an echo. That's what reverb does. Kind of gives it a slight echo. That's what reverb basically means.
Yeah, delay would mean that this work that we're trying to do of commentating, etc., is just impossible. It just it cannot exist. So that's,
and not to mention how many people you would piss off when they speak to you, and you stare at them blankly for 12 seconds and then start talking.
Dude, imagine just going to Starbucks and trying to order a Starbucks drink.
It would be awesome.
You'd have to start ordering while you're waiting in line. Right? That would be the worst. That would be the worst. So I would definitely pick reverb. Yep, I'm so curious, and I know he's in the chat, why it's a green witch. Why is it a green witch?
And I also will agree with Shroomy D. We have so much experience playing with input delay. Like, I think that a 12-second delay on our talk would just be so, like, frustrating and upsetting. Like, someone would say something, and, like, I need to make a joke, and I'd be like... And then, like, 12 seconds later, it comes out, and everyone's already moved on to the next part of the conversation. No. Forget that, dude.
You have no part in the conversation. You become mute in a way, I think. Yeah. He's a green witch because he's from Greenwich, Connecticut. Yeah. Good job, everybody. All right. Well, let's move on to the next one.
On to the next one.
Greenwich meantime. Greenwich meantime.
Hoagie on Twitter. If you had to pick today, who would you put as the faces on the Mount Rushmore of the FGC and why? This is a question about what you deem as quality factors to represent the scene up to this point in time. We have answered this before.
I hate to tell you, Hoagie, we've done this before. So I'm going to skip. You can go on YouTube and watch our old episodes. It's the answers there. I'm not going to answer this twice. I feel offended that you haven't watched every single episode of Ultra Chen TV's The Tuesday Show. So there.
I don't actually remember what they all were. Mine.
That's the real reason why I don't want to do it again, because I don't want to think about what I said before.
Yeah. I mean, I think we all had Valle and Daigo and...
I didn't have Daigo on mine,
did I? Daigo?
I had a whole bunch of, like, super old school people. I can't remember now.
Yeah, I think James was like, well, Mount Rushmore is in America, so he named all Americans.
Yeah,
I named people from all around the world. David, I don't remember what he said.
Yeah, I had a different take on it as well, and I had people who from different roles. I think was my take on it. So I had I had like Spooky on there, and I had Daigo on there, and I had Valle, and I had some other organizer and another player as well. Anyway, it was very interesting. It was an interesting discussion.
Yep.
On YouTube.com.
Check it out. Seriously, sub to our YouTube. Watch our video. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, please click like and subscribe below to create better engagement and recommendations to other people on YouTube who watch the same kind of videos that you do.
It helps us a lot. You guys don't even know. Please.
AzorMX on Twitter. If your favorite fighting game was real and you were the ones who were characters in the fighting game, do you think your main character from the fighting game would main you? Would your main you?
No, absolutely not. May, matter of fact, hates bald people.
Really?
That's like in her lore. That's why. All right, so
what a
supposedly the reason she looks so young is because she has like a medical condition or a spell or something on her, right? And they're like, "Well, have Dr. Faust check you out." And then she saw he was bald and said, "Hell no, I hate bald people." And then apparently within the 3 weeks between Xrd and this game, she got over it. Faust checked her out, and that's why she looks older now, because they're starting to repair whatever went wrong with why she was looking young. This is the actual lore that I've been told.
Did you
this
say
is real life.
3 weeks?
Xrd happened 3 weeks before Strive, yes.
What?
Yes, there is only 3 weeks between those games.
Alrighty. Great. So in that universe, Faust is like a doctor that people go to. I guess
He's
assume.
a real
yeah,
doctor.
he's a really good doctor too.
Yeah, he's like the best.
He's not like a serial killer or something.
So
No.
Bald Man was the doctor. That was Faust.
I think it was Bald.
He got framed. He got framed by Tempest or something. I don't know, but he got framed to look like he killed the patient. He didn't kill the patient, but it got into his head thinking that he did kill the patient, and that's how he went bonkers and became Faust.
Wait,
Eventually, he realizes that he didn't kill the patient, and he starts getting his sanity back or something. But I don't know, man. There's a whole thing of lore in Strive. Like, you can look it up. There's a whole compendium.
He's clearly in this game like a magical
losing
zombie.
his mind.
He's
Yes.
obviously a magical zombie, right? Like
he's losing his mind.
Would you go to the doctor at a guy who eats you and then tears open the fabric of space
Look,
time?
man, if that got rid of my stomach ache, yeah, I'll go to that doctor.
I just think
Rip me through the space time fabric.
I can't
Daddy.
believe
I
that
wanna
he's
feel
actually
good.
a doctor that people go to in that game. I just feel like
He's
not
a real
at all,
doctor.
That's
Yeah,
not at
Yeah,
all
and
what his
he's
animations
supposed to
portray.
be. He's supposed to be like the best doctor too.
Yeah,
but
he's
I
like-
also
he's
can't
Just,
believe
like, talking
that
real low and weird all the
investigation
entire time.
code.
I got
Investigation
hit.
code might have found the episode that we did the Mount Rushmore question.
What?
Oh, nice. See,
says-
Investigation Cone is a real fan.
Yeah, so he says it looks like it might be the March 30th episode based on the fact that someone. Yeah, look at this.
Wow, you Twitter searched. Nice work. Nice work.
Jeez. Okay, well,
Well
there
done,
you go.
Investigation
Thanks,
Cone.
Might as well copy that and paste that down so, Casimir can put it in the description, dude.
I mean, his voice, his animations, just all of it say to me,
Well,
this is not
again-
a doctor to go to.
Well, I think in this game, he's like, that's why everybody was really curious after seeing how they changed the design so drastically that, like, he's even more decrepit and crazy.
He's
He
a
was
dead
never
zombie,
really,
clearly.
he was not like that in the old games.
I
He was
remember.
never like that. So, yeah.
And this only happened within 3 weeks. Remember that.
Right.
From Xrd till now, 3 weeks passed.
Like,
Like
he
3 and a
doesn't
half.
have the musculature is already rotted away. He's only skin and bone.
Yeah.
Anyway, all right, cool. Congratulations, everybody. Let's move on to the next one here. Who's going to be Will Fox? And on Twitter asks, if you were on the development team for Marvel vs. Capcom 3, what character would you replace for Mega Man X if you had to choose? So X is in the
Have to
game.
look at the-
X is in the game. You
Yep.
got to kick out some character.
Sure.
I mean, it has to be a Capcom character because I'm not making a friggin' unbalanced character select screen.
In the-
MVCI proved that does not have to be balanced.
Yeah, and in the question, I actually cut it down here. He actually did say it's okay if you kick out a Marvel character as well.
Boom.
I know, but I can't do it. Like, my OCD would not let me do that.
I feel like it's very obvious to get rid of like Shenko or some low tier, like some character that I don't see anyways.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Okay.
Like for me at least, like being a Marvel 3 fan, like yeah, I'll probably kick out Shenko because
just because she's not good.
I don't see her I don't see her anyways. Like she's so low
Right.
tier that 4 people maybe had somewhat like mediocre success playing the character. So I wouldn't miss her very much. I'd rather have a super dope Mega Man X.
Right.
Now
I
if
mean-
it's MVCI Mega Man X just being put in Marvel 3, then just let
It's not
Shenko
worth it.
rock.
Yeah, it's
Just
not
let
worth it.
Shenko rock.
Yeah.
I
That
agree,
character
for
is
sure.
terribly boring.
I definitely agree with that. Yeah, I'd probably get rid of characters that, I'm not interested in. I mean, this is just me in that universe, I guess. Now I get to control things. And what I would like to do is get rid of... Who's boring and uninteresting? There's just so many cool characters in this game. Like,
Dude,
they're
There's
that's
no
all...
one boring and uninteresting.
But
They're all
you're looking
interesting.
at the
They're
you're
all
looking at the
interesting.
UMVC3, right?
Yeah.
I mean, the question sounded like it was specifically just regular MVC3.
Oh, whatever.
Yeah, Fooey. No one
okay.
plays that.
Okay. Fine. I mean, I would probably remove maybe Jill. because not a lot of people played Jill,
Yeah,
right?
that's reasonable. Nemesis would be another reasonable one.
Yeah, now you know what? Nemesis is a good pick. Even as somebody who played Nemesis in MVCI and thought he was pretty fun, he
was cool in MVCI. I think he's cooler in MVCI than he is.
100% cooler in
3.
MVCI than in
Yeah.
Marvel 3. 100%. Yeah. But everybody's cool in that game. Like nobody, even the characters who I'm like, oh, another one of these. They actually look cool. They have cool voices. They have cool options. It's just a good game. What are you gonna do?
It's the best.
It's a good
It's
one.
the best.
It's a good
To ever
one.
come out ever. Just admit it, David.
Maybe I'd get rid of She-Hulk. I played She-Hulk in original.
Why
Marvel
would you
3.
get rid of She-Hulk? Because she's not good anymore.
She's not interesting or good. They
Even
nerfed her.
even when she was good, she
Yeah.
wasn't interesting.
I thought she was interesting at the start, but then as things went on and people understood how to play against her, she became really boring, I think. But anyway, there you go. She-Hulk, later. We're going to have an
Next
imbalanced
question.
one. Let's move on to the next one here. Got only a few more. This one is going to be from Investigation Cone on Twitter. What non-fighting games are you playing right now, and how are they going? What are you guys up to? What are you guys up to these days?
I don't. I have been until like literally 3 or 4 days ago. I've been so busy that the only free time I've had has been to eat dinner and maybe get like an hour of video game in. So I've been playing Strive with that time. I haven't really played anything else.
I just don't even play video games anymore, I swear. I mean, the thing is, I would probably say Tekken, Final Fantasy Record Keeper are like the closest things. I actually really want to just sit down and just like play a whole bunch of games that I really want to play. There's all these super interesting games that I want to play, like Olaf showed me a game called Baba Is You, and I really, really want to play that game.
Very cool game.
Really badly now. So I really wanted to try that little garage game maker thing that Nintendo put out recently. I have Final Fantasy VII Remake right here. You know,
Is that in the wrapper? Is that
it's still in the wrapper, yeah. It's still in the wrapper. I have the Resident Evil 2 remake. I haven't finished Resident Evil 7. I still don't own Resident Evil 8. Like, I just want to like beat all these games, dude. It's crazy. I still want to play Final Fantasy 15. I still haven't even played 15 yet. So
You're pretty late on that one, bud.
Yeah, it's been around.
Yeah.
I'm playing The Legend of Zelda Skyward Sword, which came out, the HD version came out for Switch.
Okay.
Yeah, so I got it, and I'm having a lot of fun so far. I never played the original because I didn't want to do the motion controls. Well, I didn't have a Wii also, but even if I did, can you imagine sitting there for the entire length of the game flicking your wrists around? Absolutely not.
Doesn't sound fun.
Absolutely not. So I decided not to play it. Even if
That's why I didn't play
had
Metroid
access
Prime
to it.
3. Same reason.
100%.
Well, Metroid Prime was great. Okay, Metroid Prime worked great, and
Prime
I will
1 and 2
say,
were great.
I played
Prime
Prime
3, I
1.
didn't want to aim with the Wiimote.
it actually worked really well. Same thing with the Silent Hill Shattered Memories. It worked really well. That was another game where the motion controls worked. And I'll tell you this right now, weirdly enough, one of my favorite motion control games was No More Heroes 1 and 2. Even though it wasn't swinging this with the sword, you were just playing it regular, but to kill everything and to finish them off, you would like attack. It was like the wall break mechanic. You would attack. Now they're about to die. So you had to finish them off with the swing on the Wiimote. And while that sounded annoying, dude, it was so great. It was like,
I am not
it
a fan
sounds
of
like
motion controls. I'm with
it
David.
sounds like, trust me, it sounds like it's a bad idea, but the way that it worked in No More Heroes was freaking genius, dude. I
love Metroid. I love Metroid, and I refuse to play 3 because I didn't want to aim the whole time.
No way.
It's not fun for me. Like, it's more annoying.
It's annoying
than it is fun.
Also, my hands didn't work at that time. Even now, I don't think that would be
right,
good. But,
yeah, okay.
But yeah, I did not want to, and still would not do that. If a game comes out like that in the future, not into it.
If it's VR is dope. I'm all about VR. VR is super sick. So I'm not completely against motion control. It's just the way it was implemented on the Wii was not fun for me.
I'm not
Yeah,
gonna like
I just-
stand up and play a video game swinging my hands and fists around or whatever VR wants me to do. No.
So VR
Sorry.
makes me sick, so I can't do VR anyway. However, Beat Saber is awesome, even though you are standing up and swinging your arms around. But
Beat Saber is a motion control thing I could get behind. Like rhythm games, it makes sense to me. I can get behind
Yeah.
that.
I think it fits
Beat
for rhythm
Saber-
games too, but also I don't want to play rhythm games, so it's those two things
Because-
are not unrelated.
The nice thing about the Beat Saber, though, is that there is no walking, right? So you don't have to worry about that
Right.
crazy thing. But that game is pretty cool. I like Beat Saber. That's a good game.
Anyway, I'm liking Skyward Sword a bunch. I'm not super far into it now. I think I'm on like the second dungeon, but it's fun. I like it a lot so far.
You know, I never played Twilight Princess either. I just need to sit
Twilight
down and do
Princess
both
is
of
sick.
those.
I think it's really
I mean,
underrated.
that series is just none of them are bad. None of the mainline
Right.
Legend of Zelda games are bad.
I mean, now that HD, I should just get the Zelda. I should get Twilight Princess HD. I should get Skyward Sword HD and go back to Zelda and chill, basically, like I used to do with Breath of the Wild. Actually,
Yeah.
that would be really cool.
There's a lot of stuff
it.
in Skyward Sword that's clearly precursor to Breath of the Wild, which is kind of
They
interesting.
made 2 Zelda games for the Game Boys. So the deal was that they asked Capcom to make a bunch of games on the GameCube. That's where Beautiful Joe, Killer 7,
Resident Evil remake.
Piano 3, Resident Evil 4, yeah, remade on there. So, oh no, Resident Evil 4, period. That's why they were exclusive on GameCube for the long time. And for Return, Capcom got to make Oracle of Ages and Oracle of Seasons. And those 2 games are still some of the best Zelda games. Like, they're so good.
Yeah, those
The
are good.
Capcom Zelda games are
Minish Cap's
super
good too.
good.
I liked all those.
Yeah.
All right. TabbyNat on Twitter, which is the best, worst, and ugliest mirror match across all fighting games? Okay.
I know I have an answer to this.
My
but
answer
I'm
to
not
this, as far as the worst and ugliest, it's both. It's Honda in Super Turbo. A matchup where just basically randomness comes into a play in a huge way. And a lot of times people say that they mean like guessing. I actually mean like randomness of like, where do the hands hit? Where do the 100 hands hit? Like, it's just, it really is like a huge impactor in how that matchup plays out, as far as like whether your hands are going to be, did you do it with the right time to stop a headbutt? Maybe. Did you do it with the right time so that your hands beats the other person's hand? Like, it's just real stupid. It's honestly really stupid. And then it also has the stupid mix-ups that many mirror matches have with a character that's just like really lopsidedly designed. Like, he has lopsided matchups. Either he gets blown out or he blows somebody out for the most part. So that kind of character is just going to have weird mirror matches, and he does, and it's bad. That's the worst one. The best, I would say, I mean, the best ones are the ones with characters who have lots of options. So, like,
Best
Ryu's are pretty good, typically. Those are usually pretty good
I was
mirror
just about to say,
matches.
Style.
best mirror match is always going to be Ryu versus Ryu. Like, that's always like the best mirror match.
But like,
Because it is.
whatever the character is in the game that just has like a lot of options. Like, Ryu's just typically have options. Sometimes, like, SF5 Ryu the last few seasons was not fun or good because he wasn't good. But when he does have options, like Ken versus Ken is the same thing in Third Strike. Like, it's not Ryu versus Ryu in that game. It's Ken versus Ken because he is the Ryu of that game. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah.
And in other games, it's the same way. There's like a mirror match that's going to be interesting. But yeah, there's a lot of cool ones out there and a lot of terrible ones.
God, I'm trying to think. I know there's a mirror match. I feel like I had just been talking about how much I hated a mirror match recently, and I can't remember which one it is now. Huh. I'm going to be thinking about this one for a little bit, so.
I don't have a real opinion. I think all mirror matches are ugly and stupid, but also all of them are fantastic. I mean,
Okay, here's one of the
it's not
silliest
like
ones.
oh, go ahead, James.
No, I was about to say, one of the silliest ones, I think, was Children of the Atom Cyclops, or it might have been X-Men Street Fighter. I think it was Children of the Atom Cyclops. But if you actually shot Cyclops with the low optic blast, it was punishable by low optic blast on hit.
Okay. All right. I mean, janky, terrible decisions aside, like,
Right.
just a bad decision.
Ivan Ooze versus Ivan Ooze.
Yeah,
is the
yeah,
ugliest
yeah.
mirror match.
Yeah.
Whoop. Matthew on Discord, as someone who recently had an aha, this is why fighting games are so fun moment, I'm curious if or when you first had that moment of getting a real sense of joy from fighting games. Doesn't have to be skill barrier related, but more just when you first felt like, holy cats, this stuff is super fun. When was that moment for you?
Well, I've never felt holy cats about anything in my whole life.
You should try having emotions, buddy.
Very clear about that. I mean, holy shit, for sure. Holy cats, not in my bag. But man, that happened for me when I was like 6 or 7, when I first played Mortal Kombat.
Oh yeah.
I was just like, oh, this is the sickest shit ever. I hit a button and I punched my brother in the face. Like, this is fantastic.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was very early on that I was like, fighting games are great, and I never stopped playing them. I mean, I didn't play them competitively until late 2008. But my whole life, I had been buying fighting games to play with my brother and our friends.
Yeah, I think one of the things that's tough for me is my experience with fighting games was so gradual because, I was there since the beginning. So, it was literally like, I just love playing against the computer, and we played against the computer and found patterns to kill the computer. And I just tried to beat games in one credit with every character, like it just went there and then eventually started. Actually, you know what? No, my answer to this question is going to be the first time I walked into Pico Rivera, World's Finest Comics. Because we thought we knew what we were doing, and Tomo and Tony showed up to our arcade, our local arcade in San Bernardino, and kicked all of our asses, and we were like, wow, we suck. And we were like, my God, you destroyed us. And they were like, you're actually some of the better people we've played. And then we walked into World's Finest and we started watching, and yeah, like that moment there was when we just saw people doing things that we just didn't even think were going to be possible. Like we saw a Chun-Li go round 1, fight, run up to Guile, do stand fierce, and you saw Sonic pow, and he got punched in the face and the Sonic boom didn't come out. We were like, what the hell? We saw Ryu do the fireball to Guile, and they traded, and he backfist Ryu in the face, and we were like, what the hell? And then Tomo was like, I'm gonna beat this guy in tournament with only light kick, and he did, and we were like, what? And Tomo uppercutted every Chun-Li crouching roundhouse. If she never crouching roundhouse, he wouldn't uppercut. Only when she did it, he uppercutted it 100% of the time. And we were just like, this is like, wow, we are terrible, and we have so much to learn about fighting games. That's probably my most like, this is crazy moment, honestly. San Bernardino Arcade was called Laser Blast, DJ Blues. It was called Laser Blast in San Bernardino. If you know about that one, I mean, whew, that'd be crazy. It was literally in the middle of nowhere, so...
Well, I don't have a specific memory. I think I instead have kind of a feeling that it kind of is the same as Tobo, where I was really young. It was as Street Fighter 2 was coming out for Super Nintendo, and we had a subscription to Nintendo Power, like you did, and I just remember being super excited about it. And honestly, I don't even know what it was that made me so excited about the game. I played it occasionally in arcades, but I didn't really have access to arcades very regularly. It was really rare that I got to. It's basically like my mom wanted to go to the mall or whatever, and that was rare that she would take us to the mall. So what was it about them? I don't know. Now, thinking back as an older person, thinking about like what I probably felt, I can like come up with ideas, I think. But I don't have a specific memory where I was like, these are so cool. Previously I was like, these are okay, and now I'm like, wow. I don't know that I had that. And same thing at later on when I was like deciding to take them more seriously and play competitively. I mean, I was at an arcade in college that was really strong and had a lot of good players, and I lost a lot, and that was why I continued to play, because I was like upset that I lost. I wanted to get good, the classic story. But even in that case, I don't think there's a moment where I was like, oh, wow, you can actually play these games strategically. Because I already thought that, I just wasn't good at it. But like I recognized that existed. So I don't know. I don't think I have a specific memory for you, but it does come from pretty early on to me. All right, last one. Deadeye Dave on Discord asks, what was your favorite tournament set as a player?
I don't know. I've had a lot of them, to be honest, that have been good. Coach Steve and I played, and we're really good pals. We had never played in tournament before. We played MBCI in tournament at Combo Breaker. He beat me 3-2, so it was a super close set. Maybe when I popped off on Valle at UFGT 7, 8, 7. I think it had to have been 7. Whenever we were playing Vanilla Marvel 3. And we were playing 2 out of 3 Vanilla Marvel, and I'm pretty sure I beat him 2-0. And I popped off. Maybe that's my favorite. That was like 10-something years ago now. It was a long time ago. But yeah.
I think I have 2 answers here. One answer is before, and then another answer is after. The before one, before my bones fell apart, was when I just, again, maybe just a general feeling of like being one of the best players in SoCal and winning a bunch of the locals that we had here. I won locals, I guess, at several of the local arcades, and that was just really exciting for me. I think maybe the moment where I was like, oh, that I got good was there was a team tournament for I think it was called California Regionals that year, not SoCal Regionals and not NorCal Regionals. I think they were like combined or something that year. And anyway, that was taking place really close to where I lived. And Alex Valle and Combo Fiend asked me to be on their team for the team tournament. And I was like, you guys are asking me to do that? Like, what? Which was pretty cool. I think that was a moment
but
where
did you win?
We got third is my memory of it. And I think what beat us in the end was a team that was had Sagat's on it or something, because it was vanilla Street Fighter 4, and I was playing Zangief. When I played in singles tournaments, I always had Dalsum as a backup to deal with that matchup. But it was a locked character team tournament, so we just had to deal with whatever we brought, and we lost.
Right.
So, and then the other one was my first tournament back from after almost 10 years of not playing in tournaments. And I didn't win. I didn't win the tournament or whatever, but just sitting down and having, my little split box on my lap there, and having a person sitting next to me, and we're actually playing in tournament, and feeling like I could be there, not feeling like, oh, why am I here? I don't deserve to be here. I'm terrible. Not having those feelings, but feeling instead like, oh, I can play this video game. Let's do it.
Sure.
Was just huge. Just that's probably my number one favorite, to be honest, even though that was not like a big victory or whatever. It's just that feeling was really important.
James?
I don't know. There's obviously matches that, I won tournaments on, and those kind of stand out a lot in ways, but I don't know if those are favorite tournament set that I've ever played as a player. I'm trying to think, because I know I've had some super good sets with people, and I just can't think of any right now. But again, there's just too much. There's just too many at this point.
That's pretty cool though, that there's a lot.
Yeah, there's just so many, and I can't.
Give us one.
I said,
Pick one. Anyone.
It can be at random. It doesn't need to be the actual
There was
best.
the one time, I won the Southern Hills Golfland tournament, the E3 Southern Hills Golfland tournament in CVS2 that everybody showed up. It was always one of the biggest ones because everybody would be in from out of town. And the main reason why I won it was because Alex Valle left early to go clubbing. he played Duck Doe. Duck was really good at the game, but I could usually beat Duck. because we just turtle. I mean, I always joked I wanted to put up a video of me versus Duck, and it would be a JPEG. Because like we both used characters that couldn't attack the other person without dying, basically. And Vi played Duck, and he lost to Duck because he wanted to leave and go clubbing, basically. And so then I fought Duck. I beat him, and then I got into grand finals. That was the grand finals that I fought Tragic in, and I managed to win. And like that was like probably one of my biggest wins.
Yeah, hold that, Trag. Jay Chen, 20 years later, says hold that out.
Hold that.
Yeah, I won an Alpha 3 tournament where I beat Jason Cole in grand finals, and I beat Edma earlier in the tournament as well at UCLA.
I did both of those things too. Got him.
I did it too.
I did those things.
Yeah. But, I mean, God, like... There's just too many,
All
dude.
right,
like,
James,
so,
your brain's falling apart. To be honest.
It's time to go to bed,
I can't focus right now.
It's all good. I don't blame you. You've been up for a long time.
Yeah.
All right, cool. Well, I guess that's it. That's the last of the mailbags. Thanks for asking all the questions. A lot of fun stuff. Yay, we did it. And I was the one what did the organizing of it. Yay, that's thanks to James again for putting the stream stuff together. It's really easy to use and fun.
Dude, I'm actually really happy that it worked out so nicely. Doesn't look any different. If we didn't tell anybody, I don't think they would have known.
Yeah,
you
it's
know,
cool.
so
It's super cool.
I'm really happy about that. So yeah.
All right.
Although, do you have the bird? Can you play the bird? For
I don't think I
people?
have the bird, unless you gave the bird to me.
Tweet.
So if I do this, can you?
Oh, I got it.
Oh, you got it. Okay, there you go.
Yeah,
I can't
burn them.
All right,
I
hold on.
can't.
It wasn't supposed to go yet. All right, cool. All right, yeah, but yes, I do. In conclusion, have the bird. I'm about to bird him later.
Burn them.
Burn 'em.
Thank you.